Buffalo Wild Wings, 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 Buffalo Wild Wings. Are you the kind of person that listens to podcasts? You will be soon. That's because I've got a brand new podcast called Jim and Tomic's Happy Hour. If you've heard enough, click the link in the description. Our URL is jimandtomic.com. But what do you talk about on your podcast? Musical theater, silly. But who are you talking to? YouTube's fabulous Jimmy as in Hendrix. You can find his YouTube channel right here. But wait, if he's Jimmy, then what's the Tomic part of your podcast? Listen to my podcast if you want to find out my name. Ha 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 ha. We're talking about Hamilton. It's gonna be great. Bye!
He's got his shirt up and everything.
Oh yes, it's tradition. That was beautiful music.
Was that a throwback? Man,
Well,
so different then.
I know. Oh, how the years have aged you because I wasn't in it. So I look so much better now.
And the big reveal was no one knew my first name was Tommy at that point. Is it spooky, right?
And it's funny because your name is actually Tomic.
Right. The big reveal, 5 years and 100 episodes in. I should just change it now.
Exactly. Hi everybody.
Welcome. It's you. You start.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I've lost my thing. Hang on. I'm already
highly polished, always well-oiled. I'll stop you.
Always. Hey, welcome to Jim and Tomic's musical theater happy hour. I'm apparently YouTube's fabulous Jimmy.
And I'm a long YouTube deceased Tommy, and this is the only musical theater podcast with champagne
and centennials. Here we take apart your favorite shows, muddle them together with a shot of buffoonery, and pour you a refreshing glass of musical theater conversation. Tommy, what are you drinking?
It's weird when it's just us. I don't know.
Exactly.
I got it. 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Oh, stunning. It is the 100th episode though.
It's the 100th episode, so it's 100 bottles. What I'm actually drinking is a very nice double hopped IPA poured in an inappropriate glass. But have I shown you my Playbill glasses before?
No.
I got these as a gift once, but I
love that.
I find this fascinating. So rent.
Yes.
Bring into noise, bring into funk.
Classic.
A funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
Uh-huh.
Racing Demon.
One of my favorites. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it.
A delicate balance. Like
they must be plays.
Was this one season in whatever year Rent was, the 90s?
Yeah, it's definitely. So they must be plays. They are not musicals.
I guess so. And it's weird. They're in the other room, but two of them are the same, and then the other one's different. And I'm like, does Playbill release commemorative glasses every year? Who knows?
That's an interesting point. There must. Let us know, everyone. Yes. Well, I'm drinking very, very inappropriate Corona Extra.
Yeah, it's all right. You got we got our vaccine. Everyone should get their vaccine.
Exactly. Fully vaccinated. It's fine. It's all good. It tastes great now.
Should we tell people the plan? What's up?
I think we absolutely should. I love it's a good like teacherly thing, isn't it? Like, let's tell you exactly what we'll be doing today, and then we'll do it, and then we'll tell you what we did.
behind the curtain, the platform we're using is StreamYard, and literally every single day through the entire pandemic, I have been hosting my school's daily assemblies through StreamYard. So I do this all the time. I don't normally drink during it though. So
wouldn't that be so much better? Right. right? So yeah, we are going to. It's not going to be like a normal happy hour. We're not going to be picking a musical. And basically, one of the main reasons for that is for a long time we'd be like, what the hell do we do
What
for
would
the
we pick
100th
for
episode?
100?
So to get around that, we're going to be doing lots of other fun things. So you've all been sending in incredible questions all through the past couple of weeks. So we're going to be working our way through all of those, and no doubt going on many tangents. Then we've got some fun announcements.
Mhm.
Oh,
Spooky.
very spooky announcements. And Tommy has a surprise for me,
Yes.
which will
Yes.
be interesting. Will it be a proposal, guys? Oh,
That's probably it.
yep. And then we're obviously going to do, in true live stream tradition, a Kahoot.
A Kahoot, because I wouldn't be a high school teacher if
Exactly.
I didn't have a Kahoot prepared. And
Exactly.
have a Kahoot prepared. Jimmy and I were behind. We're like, oh no, the Kahoot!
Like, we have to do the Kahoot.
They tear the place down.
But I quite like this one.
I like this. I think it'll be fun.
I think it's a good one.
And people are watching all over the place. We've got comments from Facebook and YouTube, and I think Twitter streaming in front of us. But if
Yeah.
we're like mentioning something and you're like, what are you talking about? It's probably from a different platform. But it's on people are watching. Welcome.
Watching all over the world. I think that's status quo.
I
They
wouldn't
might be
begin
British.
to
I'm
tell you.
sorry.
I wouldn't begin to tell you. Hey, you want to start with the question?
Yes.
I got one right here. I like this one a lot.
Okay.
What musical's original production would you most want to go back in time to see?
A classic.
It's a great question and a tough one, and one
It
that I
is.
put no forethought into. So,
Oh god, this episode is going to be 90% us just sort of being like,
because like
thinking.
part of me, there's stuff in my lifetime that I've missed, right?
Yeah.
I would love to go back to like opening night of In the Heights, right? There's things that I could have had the chance to see, but
Mhm.
also I'm just so curious as like a musical theater historian, what was watching the first Oklahoma like?
I know, like that, yeah.
You know?
Because I think a part of me, yeah, would just want to kind of go nerd, like not necessarily because I love the show so much and I want to see it in its first, but
Right.
just because it would just be such a significant part of musical theater history. And
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But it would probably be just quite underwhelming. It would just be a lot of people watching it, enjoying it, and then applauding and leaving.
Right.
So it's do you know what I mean? So then the other thing that I always think about this, I'm like, well, what had like a disastrous opening?
Ooh.
You know what I mean? But then I think
Uh-huh.
actually what I would want to see is something that like doesn't exist like on bootleg anywhere,
No,
doesn't exist. And
that's a
do you
good
know what
call.
one of mine probably would be?
Hmm.
Would be the London production of American Psycho.
Oh, that's a good pull.
Because
Yeah.
there is a cast album, but
Right.
you cannot get a bootleg for it for love nor money. Not that I approve or ever look at them.
No. We're not in our good Christian household.
Come now. So yeah, I would say maybe that one.
I mean,
Also,
start listing all the flops, right? I would love to go see Carrie.
yeah,
I would love to go see Anyone Can Whistle. I would love to go
yeah,
see Marilyn.
Blondel.
Well, I mean, I'd love to go see Marilee.
I mean, actually, no, Marilee's a really good one because I want to see how difficult it actually was to follow, like with the t-shirts and everything.
Yeah, like ones that are revered now, and you know,
Yeah.
with the rose-tinted glasses of hindsight.
I'm trying to think if there's any other one. Also, I think like just for like actually this would be really good. Probably a chorus line.
Yeah, I mean the big greats, right? And that's
Yeah.
Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
You know, I wonder how long, like with the pro shoot revolution that we seem to be hitting, we, you know, there's those options will become further and further away. Like all the announcements have come from away on Apple Plus, and
Exactly.
you know, the post Hamilton Disney Plus world. It's not the worst thing for the world of musical theater. A world that needs a lot of help these days.
Well, and as well, just like I think particularly for us and the majority of our listener base who don't live in New York or London, and need somewhere else to go and see these shows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is a very exciting prospect.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Mate.
Can I throw another one at you?
Yeah.
All right, I got to delete this question though, otherwise I'll hit it again. This one's near and dear to my heart, and I only just read this news the other day. In the wake of Sondheim announcing he's no longer working on Brunel, I have mispronounced that in like 3 different videos now, and I don't think I'll ever do it right. What show written by someone else would you like to have seen him tackle?
I know. I saw this one, and then I don't really know. Like, does this mean like what show would you want to see like Sondheimized?
Right.
Which
is a good or like
well, no, I was just gonna say Sondheimized sounds
yeah, stop saying that.
A little bit questionable. So
ooh, do you know what my answer is? I want to see Sondheim's Wild Party. Let's get a third one up.
Oh, yeah, though. I'm into that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Uh-huh. I want to see Stephen Sondheim's. I'm gonna go completely left field. I want to see Stephen Sondheim's hair.
Ooh, that's fun.
Right? What was Sondheim's experience, right, of the hippie life in the late 60s, right?
Sure. Yeah.
What was his viewpoint? Because like we know he can handle a concert musical.
Right. I mean,
there is nothing but. So
I think you'll get, anyone can whistle plus 7 years, right?
I'm fine with it because we know he was doing some drugs.
Everyone
was. He would have been.
Hey, I'll throw you one from the comments. Shout outs to Conman1226. In your Dear Evan Hansen podcast, you didn't mention the upcoming film adaptation. What are your thoughts?
Did we not?
We didn't.
Well,
I had this thought afterwards. An hour and a half of recording. We didn't talk about the film once.
I mean, a lot of people are saying it in the comments, but a lot of people would be like, I hope they listen to the podcast. I think it's wrapped production, so I don't think there's any hope of that. Yeah. Unless they do some links to edits. I'm
curious. I mean, production for this would have hit right around the racial justice reckoning that the United States has been seeing the past year and a half. And I'm curious exactly when in production they were. And right, like, because whether they fall either side of that, I think will have some pretty big impact on the choice they make in the thing.
So, because obviously a lot of people are talking about like, oh, what's different and what's new. I think one of the biggest differences is that Larry, so Connor's dad, is now Miguel. I think his name is.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's Miguel because Miguel is the name of the boyfriend in the book. I don't know the name of the character. Anyway, he is a Hispanic stepdad.
Okay, interesting. Maybe that'll make the glove song a little more emotionally impactful. Although I will say this happens to me all the time. Like right after I finish the podcast recording, I'm like, oh, this thing.
Right.
I wanted to apologize to the world because for a long time I have made a lot of fun of the beginning of what is the name of that song? Wearing a Glove.
Breaking a Glove, yeah.
Breaking a Glove. And how on the cast album it starts with Evan going like, "Oh, this glove's really cool. Wow." And like that's a ridiculous thing to say about a baseball glove. That's a ridiculous thing to say about a baseball glove. It sounds like he's never seen one before.
Yes.
In the libretto, I forget exactly what it is, but he's getting some like really hard-hitting questions about I think it's either his relationship with the sister or his fake friendship with Connor. And his way to distract is to like pick something up and be like, oh, this, which then does explain that why it sounds like such a stupid line.
Yeah. Do you know what though? Well, again, it was just in the first listen of the recording that I really enjoyed that song the first time. It gets a lot of flack. It gets put into that that same bracket as like Abernathy in Guys and Dolls and the old guy in Waitress. Like you know that meme song. Like songs that you always skip, like the Sentimental Man.
Sentimental Man song.
Right?
The song that no one likes. Yeah.
I don't think it fits in that category. I think it's actually quite emotional.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's stupid. If you had to cast the other in a musical, what role would you cast them in? You see what I did there? Oh wow, this
Yeah,
question is cool. Look at that.
it was beautiful. Great segue.
Hop on.
So that was like Pavlovian, that response, by the way. That was it didn't mean anything. And yet you did it. Okay, you go first.
Oh,
What am I doing? What am I being?
what are you? I don't know if it's just because you just said it, but I do, and I mean this in the nicest friend. We're good friends, and I want you to trust me. I think you'd be great at American Psycho.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Larry and Dear Evan Hansen. I was about to leave the stream. Oh my Christ. So I do not take any offense to that. I would kill to play that part.
Well,
Hey. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. So I'm conflicted with this because I know what part you would want to play.
I mean, and well, that's the problem. Is like I'm now.
But I also think it makes sense.
Yeah. What?
In it, manager.
Oh, duh. Yeah. I'd kill that part.
Right? Like that.
I would be disappointed that there's not more of that part to eat up.
I feel like they should consider you for the revival. Do you know what I mean? Like,
You two. I mean, I have no agent, but I have an email address.
exactly.
Get in touch. All I need is like a summer and a hotel room in New York, and just give me 2 months, and it'll be great.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I mean, I would also like to play that part. So if we could alternate,
That'd be fun.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think if there's any other one. No, like, but to the point where, like, that, I think that is the answer to that question.
Yeah. I mean, like, I own that chair.
You do. So do I. We're both. I'll do the West End. You do the Broadway.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, can someone make that happen? Can someone cast us in a show, please?
Hey, they need theaters to fill. We got faces.
We have faces. We've got like 1,000 followers on Twitter.
At
yeah, at least. Right?
Are there any episodes that you'd like to revisit at some point?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's other questions about like shows that have developed since, so I'm not going to include them in this question.
Sure.
But yeah, one of my main ones is Cabaret.
Yeah. You have a better memory of what we talked about in these things.
No, but I can't remember anything that we talked about. And I know for a fact I did not do that show justice.
Sure.
For how much I love it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such an important, significant show to me. And I feel like we did it so early. That was stupid.
It's been, and like, spoiler for perhaps future segments in the show, but I've been re-exploring some of our like very early exchanges. And I mean, we get, I think, nervous when we toot our own horns, but I do think we've gotten better at accurately critiquing musicals in the past 5 years.
Oh my God. I mean, to listen to that Hamilton episode where we're just like, Tommy, it's the best show. Did you know it's the best show?
So good. What an exciting, fun, hot take we have. Hamilton
exactly. Is really, really good. And did you know it's like really smart and has really good lyric? But no, do you remember, because we did Cabaret as part of Candor and Ebb month,
is that when we said Cabaret was my
we said the Cabaret 9 was my Candor and Ebb, and they were like, oh, hang on, that is not correct.
Oh no.
So Candor and Ebb month consisted of us doing Cabaret. Listen, we were young,
professional podcasts.
We were young.
Me and Tommy. I'll throw a comment at you. Hi Bradley. What do you think the most revivable show is from the 2010s? That's a good. This is always when.
When was that?
Wikipedia.org 2010 best musical nominees. Like once I've like triggered that part in my brain, I know what else is happening that year. But I gotta look and be like, what was happening in the 2010s? We're talking Memphis, American Idiot, Fella, $1 Million Quartet. This is like the end of the Dark Ages. We are post-Wicked.
Like, again, it's so silly.
Yeah.
But with some rewrites, I'm going to bag on the drop. American Psycho. I would
like... No. American Idiot.
No, American Psycho.
Oh, that came out
my answer.
Oh.
The 2010s.
Oh,
That's
pardon
a
me.
decade.
Let me continue to expand. Book of Mormon, Kiss Me If You Can, Scottsboro Boys, Sister Act Once, Nice Work If You Can Get It, Kinky Boots, Bring It On, Gentleman's Guide, Fun Home, Hamilton, Evan Hansen. Yeah, American Psycho.
Hamilton, that would be a really good revival, actually. We're well due it.
Do you think we're gonna see like the death of revivals?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's been interesting to follow all of the Phantom orchestra discourse, and like, and how when it's coming back they're reducing the orchestra, and that's terrible. But what I'm reading more and more is when all these orchestra people signed on for the show, as is with most of these kind of contracts, the contract says, and for the life of the show, you have the option to continue to play this part. And no one expected Phantom to play for 300 years. And so it has become a very steady gig in a very unstable career. But like our industry isn't built for shows that last more than a decade because it hasn't happened that much.
Exactly.
We've got more and more on the horizon.
Totally, because that's what shows are being designed to be
right
now.
Yeah.
So death of revivals, I think like I think there'll be less and less of a flavor for the Hello Dolly style revival that we just got. I know that was really successful.
It was great,
but I just think when theater begins again, who's going to be like, do you know what I could really go for? Old-fashioned Hello Dolly, and obviously
we've got the litmus test built for us. Like
exactly, but the annoying thing is that it's not a good experiment because of all of the other environmental factors driving that one.
Confounding variables.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that I have the science degree and you're telling me the terms. Thank you. I told you I'm doing a master's.
I don't think you've mentioned it on the pod.
I'm doing a master's, everyone.
Everyone, congratulations to Jimmy. Anyone who pursues further education is a person of grand fortitude.
Yeah, and I'm excited about it. So,
what do you want to talk about it? What's your master's in?
It's going to be in information and library management. Woo! But I have a relevant point about that, right?
Okay.
So oftentimes people are like, what's your dream job? And I'm always like, oh, I want to be a director and I want to win a Tony Award and right? Sure. Great. That is like, that's a dream job. What's a realistic job? The head of the Lincoln Center Theater Archive.
I like that a lot. You would bring it into the 21st century, my friend.
Hello, me. It's gonna like my Beyonce aspiration in life. Is not to be happy; it's to have that job. And I'm gonna really try, because I'm sorry. Show me all of the people on this planet that have the Venn diagram of librarian plus musical theater, like deep nerd.
Can I revise what I would cast you as in a show? I would love to see, and I think this would help the show out a lot.
Me as Marion, the librarian,
a gender identity swapped music man, and you play Marion.
That's cute. I would like that.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I love my white knight. I'm fine with that. Okay, let's do it.
That'd be that. Can that be part of your audition for being the Lincoln Center librarian?
What, just sing my white knight at them?
My white knight.
Yes.
Or just a supercut of you stamping books in the library. Dun da 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 dun da 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 dun.
That Rent? Oh no, that was Marion. I thought it was Santa Fe from Rent. I was like, interesting. Okay, yeah, we'll go with it. Why not? Here, that's a mashup waiting to happen. Santa Fe / Marion the librarian.
My brain can't quite put it together, but it's been a long day, which is a different song from a different musical.
I think it could probably work. I'll give it a go. Anyway, one more question. And
all right.
We can...
Tommy, has 100 episodes of podcasting changed your relationship with the works of Andrew Lloyd Webber? And which Andrew Lloyd Webber do you hate the least?
I love that.
I will say I do think it has changed my relationship with Andrew Lloyd Webber's shows, in that I give them more room to be something that I like. I don't think it's changed my relationship with Andrew Lloyd Webber himself.
Like the man.
Like I mean bigger than the man, but like the entity. In a way that I'm kind of abolitionist and don't really like the, tried
The
and
monopolizing and
true.
yes.
Like there's a lot of dirty stuff in there that really, really rubs me the wrong way about our art form. But there are parts of Cats that I find genuinely entertaining.
I honestly, in terms of my achievements in life, it has been getting you to come round just a little bit.
Just a bit. Yeah.
On Cats. I like, I'm happy
Oh,
to.
maybe we'll save this for a later question, but remind me when we have the question about what's your shame I've never watched show. That you should have seen but haven't seen.
Wait.
Uh-oh. I'm very curious now because Jimmy has... Oh, there he is.
I'm back. So I could hear you.
Ooh.
But you weren't moving. What did that do to me?
That is indeed the plot of the musical that is my namesake, Tommy.
Oh, is that the segue that you've just done?
Wasn't it? Doesn't it feel like it was planned?
It kind of does, and I'm wondering, did you just orchestrate that? So that's the show that you've not seen.
No, I have seen Tommy.
Oh,
Tommy was the first show I worked on in college. It was a very easy way to introduce myself to everybody.
I think it's a great college show, by the way.
Oh, it was delightful. I was just on run crew for it because I was a techie, still am, but like that was my main go thing.
It's so much fun.
Great experience, good college show, a good transition from like the world of high school musicals to musicals you can finally do in a college.
Yeah.
And really convenient. Yes, my name is Tommy. Ha, yeah. Also the name of the show. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna hand microphones to people. Tons of fun. What was nuts? So we did the whole thing with handheld microphones because rock musical, and do they call it the overture? Whatever the whole prelude bit is, right? Which it all has scripted action to it. Is like 7 minutes long. It's something ridiculous for the start of a show with no singing, no dialogue, nothing. Just like basically a pantomime.
Right.
And one night the microphones had gone down and no one had known. Like whatever surge protector that they were all plugged into had blown or whatever. So we made it 7 minutes into the show before someone started singing into a microphone over very loud rock music and you couldn't hear them. Normally you'd hit that problem very early enough where like people aren't in the moment. You're not like trying to, but this was like 7 minutes in before the stage manager was like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, technical problems. We'll be taking a brief intermission. Oh, and it was spoilers for Tommy. But at the very beginning, Tommy's dad shoots the boyfriend, like very dramatic opening. And that's the traumatizing moment that causes Tommy to go deaf, dumb, and blind. And like that happens without dialogue. Guy's dead on stage. The first dialogue doesn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. And normally we had a way for like the lights to go down and the dead guy to be removed and whatever. We don't now. So he's just been shot and needs to stand up and walk off stage in shame. And then when we started again, we shot him again and then he died again.
Yay. So I have fun news for you. It's your fault.
That's probably my fault.
No, wait. As in what I mean is your camera's frozen.
My camera's frozen for me. Let me troubleshoot my internet.
Wait, will you do that? Will I give some announcements?
Do it.
Because we can still hear you.
See me. Yeah. Give us some announcements.
You can still react. Listen, everyone. We have some fun announcements. It's a special time. It's an anniversary. So we thought, hey, let's get some things going. So our first one, very, very excitingly, is that we will be working on some new and better merch, which is great. Yay.
Merch is bad. I like these a lot.
Exactly. So one thing that we feel really, really passionate about is that any merchandise we create, we want to be like really wearable, because it's not something that I don't want people just to like wear like our faces, because I don't know, like, no. You know what I mean? Like, that isn't fun. So we decided that we are not, I don't know where you are actually, on which side of me.
I'm.
So
That's a great. I'm above you.
okay, we have decided that we don't know enough about design and illustration to make this. So we are very excitingly going to be working with an illustrator. And what's even more exciting is that the illustrator is one of us.
Dun, dun.
One of
One
us.
of us.
One of us. One of us. So yeah, we're going to be working with a wonderful person called Gretchen. Her Instagram is Gretchen Draws. And if you're on the Discord, you'll be seeing her a lot as Showpinionated. And yeah, we're going to be working on some designs for her that will be coming to you very, very soon. Oh, you're moving again. You're moving, I'm saying. Yeah, I can hear you make the mouth sounds. You're awful. I really hate you.
Oh man, it's been how much time, Jimmy, have we spent troubleshooting bizarre, really niche, problematic video chatting problems?
Exactly. The first 10 minutes of this stream for us was sorting that out. I can't be bothered. Why can't we just send letters? Right?
We're not
Anyway,
in 19th century Russia.
we're not. Hey, very good.
Thank you.
So yes, we're very, very excited to be doing that, and that will be coming very, very soon.
Yes.
But in the meantime, go follow Gretchen on Instagram. Her stuff is incredible. She's got some amazing like Ghost Quartet
Yes.
illustration, like so
Gorgeous.
good. I want it all over my walls. Very exciting. Our next announcement.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Do you want to do this one, seeing as you're alive again?
We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah, exactly.
We are hopefully very soon going to debut a new segment, a new spin-off podcast episode theme called What's on Tap. And we're very excited about it. We're looking to put our money where our mouth is and showcase new work, new talent, find people who are in the biz working on new stuff, and get inside their brains and learn about what it's like to be a musical theater author, music writer, playwright, blah blah blah.
Absolutely. Like, one of the things that we've kind of observed is that a lot of the musical theater podcast world is centered around showcasing the kind of big actors working on Broadway shows, or big writers who are writing Broadway shows. And if you're a listener to this show, you'll know that we see things in other places. So we're going to be scouring the US, the UK, Australia, anywhere for up and coming creatives who we're just going to kind of dive into their mind and find out a bit about what it's like to be a creative who isn't yet on Broadway or on the West End, and how kind of difficult that is. And also, it will be a great way for us to find out some other shows.
Absolutely.
That we might not know about.
We're working on that. Never fear. Normal happy hours will continue on the same sort of schedule, but we're going to be promoting these and figuring them out in the main feed.
Yes,
so
indeed.
keep your eyes peeled.
Exactly. That's all. That's all the announcements, everyone. Do you ever do that in the podcast?
Yeah, I do. I think we have that as a sound effect. And
That's
then
what I'm doing.
Oh yes, okay. I thought your question was we should do that.
No, I'm doing.
I don't remember.
Like, this is why we should have a board.
That's true. We need a soundboard.
Done that.
Next, hey, episode 200. We'll have some sound effects.
We will be having a board by then. Oh my god, can you imagine?
Also, it'll be presented in VR.
Yeah, exactly, because it'll be in the year 3065.
At our rate, absolutely.
Exactly.
You want a question?
More questions.
You're both given the power to put 3 cut songs each back into
This is
shows.
so hard. I know, honestly, I was like, I would need to like do as much research for an episode for this.
I know.
Question. There was one that jumped right into my head though,
Yeah.
and it's a song that I sing once a week at least.
Okay.
And that song is Boom Crunch from
Sure.
Into the Woods.
I'm with you on that. I do think The Last Midnight is one of the more difficult part. We've unpacked this show down to the dust it's made of. And that one of all moments in that show is one that like it's so important.
Yes.
And like Sondheim's been tinkering with it, right? There's 2 different options when you license it now, whether she steals the baby or not.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
But Boom Crunch is just so good. And the person on the cast recording who sings it sounds a little bit like Kate Bush, and it makes me really want to see Kate Bush play the witch. So you don't know who Kate Bush is, don't you laugh? Don't you be laughing as if you understand that joke. That's for British people only.
I've made a whole podcast out of pretending to understand what you're saying. What if
You're
that was
so
the
right.
big reveal of
So you're just like, sorry, what is actually your name?
What
is it Jim?
I won't be able to remember it, but during the Evan Hansen recording, Jimmy said something in that was in his brogue that like, and it had been so long since my brain had like shut off and not been able to understand what he was saying.
Yeah, I can't remember what that was.
Oh, it was like my,
but like you fully didn't understand what I said, and I wasn't like putting on an accent. You just didn't hear me. I was like, that's weird. That's a weird thing. Anyway, what's your answer? That was only one. I don't think I've got 3. Maybe the flag song Into Assassins.
Yeah. You know what I do really like? And it's a bonus track. What is it called? Come Down from the Tree. I closed my eyes for a second and you're leaning to grab it.
Sorry, I was just getting a beer. But did you see I had a proxy?
I did. It was good. It was very convincing.
Okay.
Is that a snap cam filter?
That's Pokemon when
now you've frozen for me, and that probably means I've frozen now. And now everyone will be so curious. What was the song you were thinking of, Tommy? And everyone's on pins and needles thinking about what it might be. And now I'm just stalling for audio, and people might be able to hear this or might not. And I thought I fixed my internet, and I'm on my wired connection, and it's probably fault. Did you hear all of that, or was I just talking?
I heard all of that, but could you not hear me?
Nothing.
Oh, I hate tech. I hate technology.
And I'm sure what happened was our listeners could hear both of us and see you and not welcome.
But
welcome.
What would have been better is if it was just stuck on there. That would have been better. Yes, people saying that they could hear and see both of us.
Love it. Great. Thanks for sticking with us, friends. This is why we
pay money for this.
Yeah.
Rolls eyes. Anyway, what were you saying?
Come Down from the Tree from Once on This Island.
Oh yeah.
I don't actually. I'd have to go back and figure where it.
I've never heard it.
Fits. Oh, it's a beautiful song. You should listen to it.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I imagine it is cut. It is certainly not cut because it's a bad song, but because it would throw off the flow of that show, which has gorgeous you're swept by that show.
Father, Mother.
It's sung by a woman in the bonus track on the cast recording.
Okay.
Hold on, I can figure this out.
Is it like the mother saying to T-Moon to come down from the tree at the beginning?
I think so. That is the sense I've.
I mean, no one else is really up a tree.
Yeah, that would make sense. But then it foreshadows the tree a lot more. And I think one of the sticking points of that show, where you either do it poorly or do it well, is and she turned into a tree. And like these are the moments where I think about the high school audiences I normally work for, and like, are they going to laugh inappropriately at that moment? And you got to try really hard to make sure that doesn't happen. And so, if you can foreshadow the tree even a little more, I think that can do a lot of good work there.
Fair enough. Oh, people are saying it is potentially after Man Will Provide, but before so second act.
Excellent.
Second act. So literally not what we said at all. There you go.
Well, now we know.
Thank you. But yeah, that I don't think I could get 3. I also like what's the one that was cut from Hamilton?
It's like,
I can't remember.
Why does my brain want to call it Celebration? But that's wrong.
That's in the Hamilton mixtape.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
And I think that is correct. It is. It is. It is 100% that, and that's 100% the one that I mean.
Excellent.
It's yeah. Thank you. And also the open letter from, in fact, that's opened up a can of worms. The open letter that Watsky sings on the Hamilton mixtape.
It would be a
It's really, really good.
4-hour show.
That's a really short song. It's fine.
It'd be a 4-hour show. I did Google cut songs just to see what am I missing, and I did stumble across. I don't think it belongs back in the show, but "Can That Boy Foxtrot" is a fantastic song.
It's so good, but it's weird. I don't count that as a cut song,
right? Because it's so much, and
and it's in I think it's side by side.
Did it make it back into that? I mean, that's the problem of sometimes cut songs is they exist other places now.
Exactly. That is a really good one though.
Yeah,
that's really, really good.
All right, how about this? Is there a show that one of you want to talk about, but the other absolutely don't want to touch?
I was intrigued by this question because we've never talked about that.
I don't think we have. I know. I was trying to remember the one. I don't know if we should divulge this. The Lost Show. There was one time we were really going to explore this one show, but then couldn't find enough like material to make it worthwhile. And I can't remember the name of it. Something about antiques.
Oh God, yeah. So again, the British people among us might get this. So this is great. So I was so excited for this. That was Acorn Antiques.
That's
musical is what we're gonna do. So Acorn Antiques, to everyone who isn't in the UK and 60 years old like me, is basically it's an incredible sort of slapstick, very British comedy, written by Victoria Wood, starring Victoria Wood, and also, oh God, that's awful.
I won't know at all.
You won't know. She played Julie Walters. Oh, I hate that.
Okay. I know who Julie Walters is.
You do, Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and Julie Walters plays this incredible character. What are you saying? That's the epitome of her.
No, I did. Were you saying Julie Walters from Mamma Mia? Or you're like,
Mamma Mia,
and then exclamation. It was just a joke in my brain. It didn't need to be funny outside of it.
Exactly. So yeah, basically Julie Walters plays this incredible character called Mrs. Overalls. And the show, like you would like, I can't get across how much you would love this because you have a good sensibility for British comedy.
Yeah.
And it is like the epitome. So basically it's kind of like a meta TV show. Like they're aware it's being filmed, but it is presented as a normal TV show. So it's almost in a sort of way. Have you ever seen The Play That Goes Wrong?
Yes.
Or like noises off.
I'm aware of that sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Like, there's
so
a
like
meta level element to it. Sure.
Yeah. So things are always going wrong. Like they'll pick up the phone and it still rings, and then they start talking. They put it down. They pick it up again. Like
I love that stuff.
Oh, but it's done so. It's like the perfect example of it, and they made a musical about that. But the musical's really cool.
I'm sure I'm frozen again.
Wait,
let me guess what Jimmy's saying. They made a musical of it, and
you can't hear me?
all they sell are tiny little acorns carved by young old British people. And
see,
there's a
this is
whole variety of them of different kinds. You can get big acorns. Oh, you're back.
So I mean, like these moments, right, that you have where you monologue are really tricky because I can hear you fine.
I know. I'm really the one on a desert island. I did do another thing. My computer was trying to back up online, and I think that was part of it too.
Okay.
But who the heck knows? So
I wonder, is this something you can fix?
Let me click some buttons.
Because I can monologue about Acorn Antiques for ages.
I don't think it's something I can fix and know that it would work. I'm gonna keep clicking buttons on the back end to try and fix things. Thank you.
Okay, you do that.
Excellent.
Do that, but in silence. No monologues this time, please. And I'm going to talk about Acorn Antiques. So the musical is really, really great. I should say as well, the reason we've never done it is because there's no cast recording. And also so it was filmed, like the stage production was filmed. You're back, by the way. And is just really hard to get in the States, basically. So it wasn't very appropriate because we want to make sure that we make an episode that everyone can listen to the cash recording. That's like the only stipulation that we have
Right.
when we're doing an episode. But yeah, so the musical is great. Basically, the first act is them rehearsing for the musical.
Okay.
Right, and Julie Walters comes in as like a fake version of Julie Walters playing the character of Mrs. Overalls, and she's come back from the TV, and she's like world famous. You know what I mean? She's so famous because she's played this iconic character,
Right.
and she's the complete opposite. And so they do the rehearsal. It's very funny. Then they go on, and then the second act is this Acorn Antiques the musical.
Okay.
And it's along the exact same lines of things going wrong, blah blah blah. And it's just a huge camp joy. And I just pray. I mean, it will literally never happen. They'll never make a cast recording. We
Right.
would need to publish it in
Yeah.
order for us to do the episode.
Because we were looking to find any kind of recording of it anywhere, and there was just no place to track it down.
Just none. So sad. It's so sad because it is really like you would love it. If I
Yeah.
can get you that as a present one time, I would. And I honestly would implore everyone to just try and find it. Like you can kind of get it from certain channels,
Mhm.
but it also isn't very easy.
Right.
But I would. It's just so. It's so fun. Like the song. Like none of the songs are anything to write home about, but it's
Yeah.
just hilarious. It's
Yeah.
really really funny. So that's what. That didn't answer the question though.
No,
Just
I
to
already
let you know.
I already forgot what the question was.
The question was, what is a show that one person would want to do that the other wouldn't? I don't think there is a show like that.
There is a show like that. I mean, I think what is interesting is we do spend a lot of time trying to make sure we don't harp on like 10 contemporary shows in a row, or like that there is
Yeah.
a nice spread of the stuff we cover. And like every once in a while we'll be like, oh, you know, this show is going to take a lot of research, and so I don't want to do another really heavy research show after that just based on my schedule.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever run into a spot where, you know, you or I have suggested a show and the other's been like, no.
We're not doing that. Like, because like I don't know what that show would be. Like,
Yeah.
there's times where it's like, oh, maybe in the world this isn't the right show to be talking about right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or we're going to hold
either or
on.
reasons.
There's
Like,
rumors of a movie, or it might.
yeah, exactly.
Wait, but
But no,
Yeah.
no, there's just none. So there's your answer.
Excellent. I can't find the question for this, or this might have been a question we came up with, but what Jimmy are your shows of shame? What is like a show that you should know about that you've never watched? I know I have plenty of these.
I know, so do I, and I'm trying to think of like the best one, like the best one meaning like the worst one. And before we answer this question, I'm going to go on a little Jimmy rant. Is that okay?
I'm excited.
We've talked about it before, and I think maybe in the live stream as well.
Yeah.
But it's just about gatekeeping.
Oh yeah.
If we don't know a show, guess what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Right? And also, if other people haven't heard of shows, even if it's wicked, even if it's lame is, that's okay. Because you get to be excited for them to experience it for the first time. And they'll get excited about it, and they'll talk to you and like, oh my god, did you see this bit? And you're like, yes, I know that song is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. You get to celebrate in these new discoveries. That like this would be the most boring project of our lives if we knew everything.
I know. Well, and I think some of our most fun episodes are where one of us or both of us have like approached a show for the first time going into
Absolutely. But right, I'm trying to think. Have you got an answer?
I mean, and like I've already set up a Kafka trap for myself with this one. I like Catch-22.
Oh, okay. I'm just
because
gonna look at my wall and see if there's anything.
I've already mentioned it. I don't think I've ever listened all the way through or completely understood and I've frozen again, but I'll keep talking. The musical Follies. Which as a I hope Jimmy's face is shocked right now.
No, Jimmy's face is smiling and nodding,
but I'm sure you can still see him and hear him talking.
And he can.
You're back now for me.
Oh, great! So no, I was smiling and nodding because I've never seen a production of it.
Oh,
I've listened to it.
I've listened to it and certainly have heard all of it in other forms. Right?
Yeah,
it's a show that shows up in concerts and cabarets and song cycles.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. We should put that on our list.
Oh my god, Bradley's just said sharing, not shaming. Get that on a
Ooh,
t-shirt,
that's fun.
right?
Sharing. Not shaming.
I love that. I still can't think of my answer.
If it comes to you,
And this doesn't mean like, oh, I've seen everything and I just can't think of what I've not seen. The
Right.
opposite is the answer.
Yeah.
Come on, there has to be something really big.
I've never seen Love Never Dies.
That's not big. That
I know,
isn't.
but it's the sort of thing that I should watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Like, is there any like Disney's?
You've just seen everything. Is really what we've just learned.
No, I haven't. Stop being annoying. No, it's like I promise I haven't seen everything. The annoying thing is I'm looking at my wall and it's covered in posters of things that I love.
Right. You wouldn't put something you haven't
Hang
seen.
on, I'm gonna grab a book. Monologue.
Okay. When I was a young boy, my father always used to tell me, make sure you put on your socks before your shoes, because if you put on your socks after your shoes, they'll get dirty. Now, this, of course, was before washing machines, and so dirty socks were a difficult conundrum to deal with at the time. But even later in life, after the electrical revolution and Mr. Whirlpool came on the scene,
I can hear you. Let's talk about something interesting.
You said monologue, and that was the only monologue I could remember from audition class.
I've seen all of them. Does Man of La Mancha count?
Oh, I don't know that one. That's another one we share. I wonder how many of these we share.
I'm actually quite impressed with myself.
How about Camelot? That's also on my I don't know list. He can't hear me. That's fine.
Did you just say Camelot?
Oh, he can hear me. Yes.
That's my volume's up very high. Camelot, very similar.
Yeah, I've never seen Camelot. Yeah. There's just so many things out there, and then like not to mention all the like golden age movie musicals of the Freed Unit and things like that. There's so many of those that are absolutely missing from my repertoire.
They are my answers: Man of La Mancha, and Camelot.
Ooh, you know what? What is that Goutel one?
Floyd Collins?
No, that one I know.
Myths and Hymns?
Myths and Hymns.
I mean, that is like a niche, not even off Broadway.
No, but here's the thing. Because I know this because I've been exploring ancient history. We had a conversation about myths and hymns before the podcast, and this might destroy our friendship, but I pretended to know about it.
We all do that. Like, we all do that, and it's really bad that we do because we feel that we have to. This is a good like, moment. But it's bad. And the reason we feel that we have to is because we worry that we're going to get shamed, or that we worry that they're going to be like, well, you know nothing about musical theater because you don't know Myths and Hymns by Adam Gittel.
Right, exactly. Like that.
Which is nonsense. And not true.
Flimsiest of gatekeeping.
It is. It's really poor. It's really, really poor. So, yes.
Let me see.
That was a good question, though.
That was a great question. Do either of you have any thoughts on the divisions between drama education and music education in the context of musical theater?
This feels like an essay question. I don't understand. Let me read it again. Do either of you have any thoughts on the division between drama education and music education? Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah, I like being education adjacent. Absolutely, I have a lot of thoughts.
So I don't know what your experience. You've probably got much more of a viewpoint on this than I do.
Sure,
but in my school, high school, our drama department and our music department were at odds when it came to producing the musical because they both did it. And it would be the drama teacher would be the director, music teacher would be MD.
Right.
But when it came to the picking of the show, they would like swap about, and our music teacher was obsessed with GNS. So we'd only ever do GNS.
Yeah.
And the drama teacher was a bit more like cutting edge and wanted to do stuff like Rent. with high school. So I think they ended up compromising and doing like fiddler.
That's a good fiddler. And
You know what I mean? Like it sits in the middle of the the two time periods that both were produced in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think there definitely is division, and but what I will say is I've got a lot of friends who are music teachers
Mhm.
who are very, very keen musical theater aficionados,
Absolutely.
and they like work like it's weaved into their teaching and their curriculum.
Yeah.
A lot of their examples that they use are from musical theater. Like so one of my friends is a music teacher. They were studying Latin music,
Okay.
and so she used examples from In the Heights and West Side
Mhm.
Story because it's
Great.
great examples of that. So things like that.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's getting better
Yeah.
with like younger people becoming teachers. Like it could be that.
I mean, I do think I think this is deep down. This is a question about the canon as well. Like this goes back to some of my rant and the frogs
Mm,
about like a lot of this stuff surfaces, and it's how you described it in content selection, right? What pieces do you choose, and do different schools of education have different thoughts about what is important for people to learn in these places, and
yeah.
becomes a lot of de facto gatekeeping. It is a tentpole of white supremacy and a bunch of other sorts of terrible stuff like that. So I do like my experience with it in college. One main stage production a year was chosen by the College of Music, and then everything else was chosen by the theater department. And very often, the College of Music would choose an opera or an operetta, which is was a very interesting dichotomy too. Like they didn't need to, but that's just kind of how they did, and I think kind of upheld myths about what is and isn't high art. So I think these conversations often devolve that kind of way. I also think there is a lot of there's a lot of shade thrown around about like whether you're singing a legit piece or a musical theater piece.
Yes.
And I think that's a very old school way of thinking. I was, as a college actor, I was told, please prepare a legit piece and a other piece. And like that's stupid, that's gatekeeping, and really minimizes what musical theater is, right?
Yeah.
Like I do think there are certainly there is a musical theater sound, but if there was just a musical theater sound, you couldn't study Latin music using pieces from In the Heights.
Right.
You know,
Like if you went to Burnside and be like, "I'm sorry, you just write musical theater," that
right,
man would stab you with his baton.
right,
Like it doesn't make sense.
yeah,
It just doesn't make sense. Especially nowadays.
yeah.
Like, yes, I would say there is a Venn diagram where there's all of the musical genres, and down the middle there is
There
something
is
that
something,
sounds like the
absolutely,
contemporary musical theater pop sound,
yeah,
right? But it's not. You can't say that is a genre.
right,
You just can't. I'm sorry.
yeah, no.
Um,
I have another. This one it mentions me, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too, Jimmy. And
okay.
it's also education adjacent. I wanted to ask Tommy if he had any advice about someone nervous entering teaching as a queer person. Um, I love this question. Uh,
Yeah.
if you are anywhere part of the alphabet mafia, and considering pursuing education, please, yes, thank you. We need more of you. Um,
100%.
I don't know what your world was like, Jimmy. I had maybe one or two out teachers when I was in high school, and then more out college professors, which I think having a theater school adds some bias there as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I
mhm,
mean, my experience was Zilt Joe,
yeah,
all the way through. But again, in zoology, that was never a point of discussion.
sure,
You know what I mean? But in high school,
mhm,
no, there were teachers who you knew were gay,
right,
right? Um, and the rumors flew about, and
yeah,
there was plenty of homophobia directed towards them, of
sure,
course.
yeah,
Um, but no one was out. Now, I don't know if that was school policy.
sure,
We had a pretty liberal school, like it wasn't. I didn't go to a religious school or anything. So,
yeah,
um, but that was never talked about, and there was never really an opportunity to talk about it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? like even in like social studies or what we call PSE, which is like personal social education, but it's like
Okay.
it's where you would talk like health class and things like that, like
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
that kind of thing. Uh, Still, it would
Yeah.
be weird to talk about.
Yeah.
But I think that has completely changed.
I would say, I mean, I'm in it now. I think it absolutely has. I remember the college I went to was known as being a pretty big education college as well. Like I studied theater education. Um,
Yeah.
and Dan Savage, who I have mixed feelings about,
Right.
came to speak at our school and got this question, like, I'm a teacher, should I come out to my kids? And I do think the advice he gave, I appreciated, and I think is true. He said, if like everyone has their own coming out journey, right? And like you got to be comfortable with yourself first, and that's first and foremost, right? But if you've reached that point and you have the question about like, I'm out of my life, I'm out to my family, I'm out generally, do I come out at my school? His advice was, yes, you should come out at school because, and Jimmy, you've accidentally alluded to this, the assumption is that all teachers are gay anyway. And so like you're one, like that is a switch that might be a helpful one to flip in your brain, is like, well,
Yeah.
they're going to assume either way. And so
Yeah.
I can either play this weird game of not talking about it, or, do it. If that is if you feel safe, if you're comfortable there, all these things. And if you have the support systems. And I recognize my privilege as, a white homosexual male, and not everyone is afforded those
Right.
privileges, even within the LGBTQIAA plus spectrum. IIAA. I'm a queer educator. I should do this better. That said, being an out gay teacher at school, like I can see tangible results of my existence at my schools in policy changes, in being able to support kids, in
Mhm.
keeping conversations going about important things, the sort of stuff like the terrible battleground that's surfacing in the United States about all of our trans kids. But things as simple as single person restrooms, all gender restrooms,
Yeah.
things like the automated "you've got a detention" email. Was like, your student, blah, 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 has received a detention. He/she can serve their detention in this room, blah, 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 blah. He/she should serve,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And like an email to my boss, hey, can we change this today? Yeah, done. Easy, right?
And it's
And
the
like
easiest fix.
having like an eye for that, and the ability to be like, hey, this is a quick fix, no one will care, but we should just fix it. Like those are the cool things.
Yeah.
We have I'm seeing more and more pronouns pop up in the signatures of my administrators and my teachers, which is great.
Yeah.
And I work for kind of middle of the road school. I wouldn't say we're super liberal, and so it's good to see bits and pieces there, and being visible is helpful with that.
Yeah.
And the ongoing thing, and like what you want to do is like load up your canon with what are you going to say for these questions, the same way you would do with any other teaching thing, right? A kid talks back to you, how are you going to respond? You set up these situations, and so you set up your queer specific.
I love Square. I want
kinda
to try
like
and use that
queer.
someday.
That's fun. You set up your queer specific portfolio of responses, right? When a kid uses gay in the hallway as a slur, how are you going to respond to that? When you mention your partner, your boyfriend, you subvert whatever their expectation of the gender identity of your person is, and you get the eyeball, how are you going to respond to that? And you can front load a bunch of stuff. Like I think I've talked about this before, but I've very specially crafted how I come out to my kids. Because it can be really intimidating to be like, hello, I'm a theater teacher and I am gay, right? That would make anyone uncomfortable. That would make me uncomfortable if someone
Well, it's a weird thing to say. If anyone introduced themselves like that to me, I'd be like, interesting.
Be so bizarre.
Interesting.
So, what I try really hard to do is very specifically craft a sentence about what I did over the summer. And it will always involve my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what it is, but like, oh yeah, I had a great summer. Me and my boyfriend went to this national park and saw a buffalo the size of a bus or whatever. It was so cool. We saw so many animals, and then to find the way to keep the conversation going, not about the boyfriend, but about the rest of the stuff. And like, then you're out, and no one has had to respond to it, and you still have control over the conversation.
And I think that's it. Is you're not putting any of your students in a position where they need to out themselves as someone who doesn't understand, who might be homophobic, or who is completely accepting and is also queer but isn't out. You know, I mean, you're not putting anyone in that pressure. But what you're doing is you're taking the electricity out of the room by just being like, and there you go.
Yeah, I have no doubt that I teach, homophobic and non-accepting kids. I have no doubt that I teach kids with differing political beliefs. I have no doubt that I teach kids who, like different food from me. And I don't want to minimize one by comparing it to the other, but all those things need not affect who I am in the classroom and how I teach in the classroom.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, soapbox put away. But if you're any kind of queer and thinking of being a teacher, it does take a lot of courage. Good for you. And if you need words of affirmation, my DMs are always open.
Absolutely. So are mine, but I can't really speak from authority. Come say hi. I'm lonely.
Let's see.
Should we do one more, then you can give me my surprise?
Yeah.
Just because I want my surprise.
I don't know. Here's a fun one. Related to the last episode, what's your favorite academic writing on musical theater, or a piece of academic writing that changed your opinion on a show? Jimmy's gonna go get this book. And so, I've been putting the socks inside my shoes for decades, but I've recently found these little footy protectors that you can put outside, and they're like socks for your shoes.
Shut up. It's become a live stream tradition where I get out my Scott Miller books. Oh no, that's not Scott Miller. Hang on,
that's not Scott Miller, but that's a great one. Changed for good. I have that somewhere.
It's also very good. It's up there somewhere. Strike up the band. Anyway, like they're all great. Scott Miller.
Scott Miller's fantastic.
Every single thing he's written.
Yeah,
I love the man. I want to meet the man. And I had like a small social media interaction with him. I was like, oh! And it was great, but it didn't go very far.
Always a shout to Warren Hoffman's The Great White Way, Race in the Broadway Musical.
Yes.
Required reading, especially these days. And there's a new edition out now, which has some additional thoughts in kind of a post-2010s musical theater world. I don't know. I think we find ourselves reading a lot of academic articles.
Just like paper. I mean, again, using my library skills, I have easy access to that. Do you have access to something like that as an educator, or do you go through the back door?
Access, but I think you're, because I do get some through my school, but you're better at searching these things than I am.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm pursuing a master's in.
That is literally my job. And so there's loads out there. And it's always if there is see if there's a particular show that you're interested in, go out and see, right? And then see if there's nothing written about it.
Right, then you can write it.
Write something about it. It doesn't need to be published in any sort of journal. Publish it on a WordPress.
Yeah.
Right? But it will be Googleable.
Yeah.
We will see it, and we will read it.
I think the things we've learned in kind of our entrance into the discourse is, we have been cited more than once in thesi, and we're just two nobodies in the US and the UK.
In New York, yes.
Two nobodies not in New York. Ooh.
We should do that. We talked about musical theater parodies the other day, so
yeah,
let's bring it back.
I will also say, and this might give away some of our tricks of the trade, scholar.google.com, always a great spot to start if you're trying to do research. The citations on Wikipedia articles.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorites is
excuse me.
Sometimes we think of the performance of the show as the primary source for the show, but I love, this happened with us on Titanic, I think, finding some good front matter of a published libretto can be golden, because it is often written by someone associated with the show. Really, really helpful.
Relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Pasek and Paul always write their own, and that can be enlightening. That's all I'm saying.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep. But yeah, because I think one of the things that surprised me was when we were doing the frogs.
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing written about the frog. Like there's
There's
nothing. There's
not-
nothing.
There's no, yeah.
And it surprised me because it's a Stephen Sondheim show, right? So like
People written
he's
it,
obviously written about it in his collected lyrics, but even then he doesn't talk about it much.
Right.
Because it's not one he's particularly proud of.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. And I found that it's quite surprising. So then what we have to then do is like, okay, well, what do we want to talk about?
Mhm.
We want to talk about classics. So then we go on and we read around it. But it would be so good to read something relating
Mhm.
to the front and tying that together. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if people have these ideas, like, I don't doubt that people have these ideas. They tell us it on Discord. Do you know what I mean? They told us it on Reddit. Like,
Right.
people have some really good ideas. Write these think pieces down and publish them.
Yeah.
Just do it because it's
Out there.
there's not enough, and it will help us be
And it will
legitimate.
help us. Are you-
Surprise time!
Are you ready?
Surprise!
This is like I am ghostwriting.
Pickle surprise! Wait,
I-
do you know that? Pickle surprise?
I
Pickle surprise!
Toledo surprise?
No, pickle surprise.
I don't
Also,
know.
too specific. Okay.
Mm.
Move on.
We got the question, what is the podcast origin story? And Jimmy and I have often said that we met in the YouTube comments. But then, and in discussions about this, I think we've lost the plot about what that looked like and what happened next.
Right. Can I actually, before you give me the, I know this is what it's related to, can I give you what I think happened and how the podcast began? You commented in one of my videos, my people, right? And I remember that as a fact.
Yep.
Because of my video, and
Yep.
I know these things.
Yep.
Then I think I probably commented on you. This is what I think happened, right?
Mhm.
Then you found me on Facebook because I had my socials linked. You
Mhm.
sent me a message saying, "Hey, do you want to start a podcast?" And then we went on Skype and then recorded episode 0. In my head, that's what happened. I know that can't be true, but I can't remember what actually happened. So I'm hoping that you can shed some light on that.
You made a YouTube video. Which is that still on the internet or have you scrubbed that?
No, it's still there. I'll come back to that one day.
And I think that's where I commented my people. And then I believe I shared that video. I couldn't find where I shared that video.
Did you?
Yep. I don't know if I tweeted it or
nice of you. Thank you. Unfortunately, before you had like 60,000 subscribers, wasn't it? You could share it again if you wanted.
I shared it, and then the first thing you did was you slid into my DMs on Twitter.
That's interesting.
Isn't that
big
fun?
fan of yours? So it really means a lot. Oh my god, that's funny.
And it was June 6th, so we were like 3 days out from the Tonys.
Right? Okay.
Yeah, and so I don't want to scroll too far, but
before we start sending,
right, exactly. And really, what we start sending are like the passwords to the Squarespace, which But so we banter a bit on Twitter, and then we get in a bit about we talk about being Facebook friends,
right?
And you say the only other Tommy you know is the most famous Tommy you know.
The Who's Tommy?
Tommy Bronco.
Oh, of course.
And we have a mildly thirsty conversation about that on Twitter.
Oh, two big old homosexuals that we are.
I know. Let me see if I can do this without divulging too much personal information. Is this not going to let me? Boop. Here.
Oh no.
Hold on. Say it.
By the way, can I just say, so Adam Fraser in the comments has just said that I've referenced Pickle Surprise before, so you should know what it is. But I actually think it's been a show note.
It has it?
You read all of the show notes, so I'm surprised.
I read all of the show notes. Next, you'll say I listened to the podcast.
Right?
Okay, hold on.
How are you doing?
So I had it. I mean, if you want to know my technical problems, you don't really want to know. I had it in a different Google Chrome tab that was a different user, and so I can't share that on my. Then we became Facebook friends. And
Yes.
I have here the beginning of our Facebook exchange on Facebook Messenger. Do you remember that?
I mean, I don't remember what we said. I remember the concept of Facebook
Who
Messenger.
do you think? And put your guesses in the comments now. Who do you think messaged who first on Facebook?
Wait, so the context is we've spoken on Twitter.
We've spoken on Twitter. We've spoken a bit in YouTube comments. And then we've become Facebook friends, which was a bigger commitment at the time.
But surely me, because I'm the fan.
These comments earliest are at the bottom, the way this works.
Okay.
I said, boo!
You flirty boy. You flirting?
And you said, you mean to tell me your name isn't Mr. Mash? Well, I'm leaving.
I love that. The jig is up. Look at
So
us flirting. I was right in there with that reply.
Yeah.
Not a minute past.
That was August 9th, 2015. So that's about a month after our Twitter correspondence. And so then, here, hold on. I have to pull this away. As I scroll past the nudes.
All of the nudes. So many nudes.
And so here's the thing. I was working on Juilliard graduate Patti LuPone.
Yes.
Stalwart Musical Theater Mash YouTube video. And I wanted to share it with you. And so I said on August 30th, 2015 at 10:57 a.m. Oh, why is that?
You said, I'm leaving.
The same thing. Oh, I'm sharing the wrong. Hold on. Hang
on, let me just look back in the comments again. Also, I'm really excited because I've not really been following the chat at all this time. So I'm very excited to go back and look through the chat because there's been loads of really good stuff that I keep looking at.
All right. I said, listen to this stupid thing I'm making because I had sent you an early cut, which you weren't able to watch.
Also, when I use the square bracket emojis.
Oh yeah. Well, so here's the thing. These it has transliterated what were old Facebook emojis back into.
No, there was a period when I used them, Tommy. I'm not defending myself.
There's one. It shows up in here that I can't tell if it was a real emoji. That's an open parentheses, a capital Y, and a closed parentheses. And
yes, I did that as well.
What was that? Because it kind of
that's the thumbs up.
Oh, it looks like a butt.
Okay, yeah. No, that's from the MSN days.
Oh, holy cow. So I sent you this at 10:57 that morning. You waited till later that afternoon to try and watch it.
Yeah, because I was, holding back the flirting.
Right, exactly.
Didn't want to give you the wrong impression.
And then you said, but the title is making me very excited. And to that I responded, what should we podcast about?
What?
No prelude, no lead up. Just like, hey.
No, we must have had a conversation.
Nope. We had not chatted on Skype. We had not heard each other's voices apart from each other's videos. Only textual-based conversation.
That is nuts.
Isn't that wild?
Can you show what the answer is, or is it something naughty? Ghosts. Great. I love that.
No, wait, hold on.
Like the absolute, yeah. And did I say yes? Is that what I said? I was meaning just ghosts. That's not funny, Jimmy.
I think it's hilarious.
Thanks, Tommy.
So that's August 30th, 2015.
Right. Okay. Well, we're approaching October. Whenever getting close. Also, this timeline is so much longer than what I thought.
No, isn't that wild?
I thought we started I thought the YouTube comment was in August.
Nope. Like this was a bit longer. And so then we go through a bunch of stuff. We record the infamous episode 0. And we get episode 1 recorded, Hamilton, and we're waiting for iTunes to approve and like getting all this going, getting the Squarespace open. Squarespace. I'm like mixing up my consonants today.
Squarespace. I love it.
And then October 21st, we did it, Joe.
Imagine if we said Joe.
I know, right? Foreshadowing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pause right now. Deaths with a Z Why did you continue speaking to me?
Well, can I tell you? Because this is just a really long Facebook chat archive. The word I have saved to Control F in this document to find this place in the chat is deaths, because you've only said it once.
Okay, that's a relief, actually. That's a relief. Deaths was a Z.
Yep.
I hate myself.
But then we
Okay.
post it. You're excited. You're waiting till noon. the
And
next
this
day.
this episode. This is Hamilton. This is
It's
episode
Hamilton.
1.
Yeah, you described this as the epic moment that
Wow.
the film made about our lives.
Well, I joked about that earlier.
I say truth.
True.
Hold on tight. Here we go.
You speak very similarly to how you speak now. I speak like I'm a maniac.
Yeah, I like where you go E here.
I do say E. Well, I think normally I'll say like we.
Yeah,
but
sure.
no, yeah, I've
I'm
evolved.
gonna tell UK tomorrow around
UK.
there.
The
Sounds
whole of the UK. Love that. Yeah.
Yep. Here we go. Oh, and wait, I think it's in here somewhere. Oh yes, and that was back before we didn't even put any Hamilton songs in our first episode.
No, that is just like the extended piano, the jazz piano.
What the heck were we thinking? I was so excited to use that track. God,
That's
Jesus.
sad, actually, isn't it?
You go to bed.
Arg, I have to sleep. Wait, what time would that be? That's like 11. That's like 11.
Yeah, and I think this might be mountain time
midnight.
now. So, but somewhere in there. And then wait, I want to find it. According to Squarespace's limited metrics, we have at least 100 listeners already.
Woo! That's amazing, though. One day.
Yeah.
100 listeners.
So anyway, people have asked, and now that is the origin story documented.
Honestly,
on paper. That's how it happened. True Hollywood story.
I have paraphrased that a lot. a lot. That's very sweet. But my main question is, when are we starting the podcast on ghosts?
Should we just of all the fake podcasts we've joked about, we've never joked about a ghosts
We've yet to do
podcast.
ghosts. That was actually going to be one of my. That was going to be a Kahoot quiz question. Was like, what are all of the
Fake
alternate podcasts that we've done? Because there was a few as I was listening through episodes. I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, we talked about that as well.
Any
So there you go.
surprise you? I know we do
And-
video games a lot.
Now we can add ghosts
We can add ghosts.
to the mix. But
Um,
that is such a stupid joke, Jimmy. Like, the cringe. I hate it. And that's,
we were. I'm not going to scroll through them, but we were both seeing other people at the time seriously, and we're being also kind of flirty with each other.
I wasn't.
You were.
I was lying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We can talk
No.
off.
We'll
I'll
talk
show
off
you.
pod.
I'll show
I
you.
was if that is true, I was lying. Who knows? Anyway,
Are you saying people should slide into your DMs for another reason?
no.
Hold on, let me
Don't do
pour
that.
myself some more beer. Clearly, this is going great.
You'll be grossly disappointed. It's okay. You pop in and out.
Me?
Yeah.
Am I?
No, you've been off for about the past 2 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was fine. We can hear
Oh,
you.
Excellent.
This is a podcast, Tommy, and that's audio.
What?
No one's ever gonna watch this back.
That's literally untrue.
Also untrue. Right. Okay. What's next?
What is the most
more questions.
impactful experience you've had in a theater? Ooh, and this is an interesting and perhaps accidentally phrased question, but is it in theater or in a theater?
Ooh. I think it's in a theater. I think that's what they mean.
Yeah.
If they're here, maybe they could specify. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think in a theater.
I thought this was a great question.
It is a great question. Right. Mine is really kind of weird and silly.
Mhm.
Mine is a children's theater production of Godspell.
I don't think that's silly. I think that's awesome.
It was honestly one of the best things I've ever seen, and like it was. So the group that performed it is an amazing children's theatre group. I'll give them a shout out. They're called FCT, Fourth Children's Theatre, Edinburgh based.
Okay.
Really, really incredible group. And I'd seen a lot of their shows at the Fringe, and they always performed at the Fringe. Anyway, so they did Godspell, and it was a couple of my really, really close friends who were directing it, MDing it, producing it, like everyone was involved. And it was the kids who were performing, and I knew a couple of them, but not all of them. Anyway, it was performed with such heart and sincerity and joy. Like, I've never seen anything that just felt so authentic. And obviously, the show itself. Oh, I've never seen that before. The camera's gone off. Anyway, I'll keep talking about Godspell. If he comes back, he comes back. If not, solo pod. But yeah, such heart and oh, you're back and you're in HD.
Ooh, I could hear you that whole time. That must be what it's like to have been on your side of that thing.
Interesting. Maybe it'll be all great from here on in. Let's restart. Anyway, so it was just a beautiful thing. Moved me to absolute tears. I still talk about it to this day. I just absolutely loved it.
That's beautiful.
That's my answer.
I must have been 4 or 5. And I had an aunt in Chicago who was in all sorts of regional shows. And one of them was the yearly production of A Christmas Carol. And went to go see it. One of my first theatrical experiences. She played several characters. One of the girlfriends of like Cratchit's friend. When there's like the scene where they complain about like old Mr. Scrooge. What a terrible person. She played Tiny Tom. Yeah, she's very short.
Do you mean Tiny Tim, or did they call it Tiny Tom?
I do mean Tiny Tim, pardon me.
Okay, that's it. I just wondered if they called it like that, just for because she was a girl.
I just got off of You're in Town, and I think my brain is stuck in one track.
Yeah.
And then she played the Ghost of Christmas Future in this gorgeous black like funeral wedding dress with a huge veil, and all she would do was point to like Mannheim Steamroller, like electronic Christmas music. And when she appeared in that for the first time, it scared the crap out of me.
I love it.
And I started crying and had to be removed from the theater by my mom. And it's one of the most impactful experiences I've had at the theater.
Is that where they got the inspiration for the Women in Black?
I imagine the regional theater just outside of Chicago originated that. Yes, absolutely.
But it's the exact same thing. Just saying.
Sure.
So there you go. That's it. Nothing to do with Broadway.
Nope.
Doesn't matter.
Nope. Great Comet was fine. Whatever.
Great Comet was really, really good. But actually, with that, I don't know if I've had like a hugely like I did have like a really quite sad, embarrassing crying moment at Wicked, and Les Mis.
Yeah.
But other than like I mean like I cried at Wicked, but I wasn't like it wasn't sad.
And I think because like I started tech theater, far too young. That's why you should lock up your tech theater friends. Make sure you don't leave that lying around the house. It's a stupid joke.
I don't get it, but I'm just smiling.
Good, excellent. Our tried and true method continues. But I think I've been struck by, we've talked about the theater major's curse before, right? That once you know a little bit of the secret sauce, it becomes really, really hard.
You're just like, let me look at the rig. There's a deep emotional moment under it. You're just like, what's the rig?
And it becomes so, like, you have to try really hard to get back into the art.
Yes.
And I think that has gotten in the way of me having deep emotional experiences.
Like big connection things. Yeah. Exactly. Because I guess that's the thing, like in Amdram, you don't really care about that because it's not going to be anything fancy. So you're just like, great, they've got some Fresnels.
Right.
Let's watch the show. Like,
absolutely. Side note, we're about to enter a very important moment in the Tommy household. Me and my boyfriend call it Sun O'Clock. It lasts about 30 minutes. And there's a brief period where the sun like peeks behind one building and past another building. I'm just going to be very like influencer on the beach lit for like the next 30 minutes.
You will be what I'm trying to think of the Instagram filter that would be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's a boring chat. Anyway, next.
Let me see. we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. So if you see any pop in comments,
We had more on Twitter.
Oh yeah, if you see any there, shout them out.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what I got for you, sir. That's been done. Someone's asking us to do a collab with Sideways 440.
I love Sideways and stuff. You should look them up.
Reach out.
You've got something to watch. I mean, seriously, send us emails, friends. We're like down to clown. We're just
always
bad at reaching out.
We've got we've already answered that. Oh my gosh.
No problem.
Oh, okay. This is something I did want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's been brought up a couple of times. I'd love to know more of your guys' thoughts on the changes to Hadestown between Off-Broadway and the OBC. And then also is added another question, but that's the main one.
That's a great question. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to hold on. Let me like crank my brain backwards.
Right.
I remember liking the changes. Like generally
Have
speaking.
you not listened to it that much?
Both the new and the old. We must have been. I remember me and the boyfriend were coming back from like some national park road trip and had like 2.5 hours to kill and just binged the whole album straight through. And that was my first one. And that was great, man. Driving through the back roads of Americana, listening to Hadestown, like especially in my neck of the woods, Colorado and thereabouts, abandoned mining towns and all these things. Like, that was the way to experience that album, and it was awesome. It was one of the ones I do remember the Hadestown differences between the pre-Broadway and then the Broadway version being like substantial and not mechanical. Let me try and explain what I mean by that. But like we hear a lot of changes that happen in any kind of revised thing that's like to fix a problem. And you could tell what's so cool about Hadestown is you can tell this is like an artistic exploration. Like we are refining this piece, not repairing a broken moment. And so they feel like different albums to me in that respect, almost.
100%. So some of it's good.
You don't like the new version?
No. I love the live recording so much. Like all you need to do is listen to our episode on it to understand my deep love for Damon. I still don't know how to say his last name, Dono. And also I think I've spoken before about my thoughts about Reeve Carney.
Yes.
And those thoughts hold up.
Yeah.
I don't think that was good casting, and I'm sorry to the people who love. There's a lot of Reeve Carney stans. You're wonderful people. I just don't think that was good. No, that's not true. In some ways, it was good casting because of who Reeve Carney is as a person, right? Like, him and Damon are very, very similar people. But vocally, they are not.
Yeah.
And Orpheus has to have the music that soothes the savage beasts.
Sure.
Reeve Carney ain't doing that. I'm sorry. To have more like legitimate criticism of it, I think all of the bringing back ins from the original concept album that Aeneas Mitchell wrote, things like bringing back in Wedding Song, bringing back in Flowers, I raise my cup to him at the end. The duet between Hades and Persephone at the end. I can't remember what it's called. It's beautiful. I love it. Anyway, all of those songs are tried and tested, and they are great.
Yeah,
and I'm so happy that they are on the recording, and a lot of them are really good. I think some of the Fate stuff is nice. And I think the rest of it is not. Like, see the stuff that makes it musical theater.
Yeah.
I just don't think it works. One of my biggest bugbears is in Living It Up on Top.
Yeah. Okay.
And they literally like, and now it's a dance break.
Sure.
And then they dance. And I'm like, I get it. It's Broadway and we need to give the choreographer
Right.
something to do
Yeah.
so they can get the feeling. But this show is already so conceptual and
Yeah.
good.
You
You can
don't
be smarter than that. Like, you don't need
Right.
this kind of pointless dance. Like, it is, to me, it's completely pointless. It adds nothing to the story.
Yeah.
And there's just lots of other things that I just don't think have been written well.
Mhm.
I think they've just been shoehorned in to
Sure.
like carve through this storytelling a bit more. And I
Yeah.
will give it that. Like, the plot is a lot more watertight.
Yeah. It does clarify the story much. Yeah.
But I no, I don't listen to it all the way through. I
Huh.
skip a lot. And then in between I play the live recording. Like, I have a set routine of like, oh, Epic 3 is coming on, as if I'm listening to Reeve Carney singing that. Back we go to Damon. And that's sort of I don't like, it's one of those things, it's annoying because I would like to do an episode on it.
Yeah.
But there's not enough to merit a full
Full episode.
full
Yeah.
shebang. So maybe I don't know, we'll do something at some
Mini
point.
episode or
Maybe.
something. Yeah. Mech Blank. Hello. Which elements of pandemic era theater making do you think we should retain once things
Oh
return to normal?
gosh.
I mean, like,
Well,
is your
okay, you can talk all about this. You've just
oh my
done
God.
the
And
epitome of
I still have plans. We finished for those who don't follow my Twitter, which is totally fine. Get off Twitter. It's terrible for your brain.
Yes.
I maybe 2 weeks ago, we published. I don't know the words for these things anymore. My school's digital musical. We did Urinetown. It was nuts. It was wild. I'm very proud of it. It was one of those things, and like pardon me while I take off my humble hat for a second. I made my boyfriend watch the Ratatouille musical, which was great in its own regards and had a bunch of wonderful things. Our musical was better than the Ratatouille musical. And given the same resources, the same socially distanced, asynchronous creation, like, we found some devices that were better suited that way. And like, I'm kind of uniquely positioned to be pretty good at this, between having a lot of video editing and audio editing chops and being a big musical theater nerd and kind of living on the internet. And so like, I, kind of was disposed to do this well. One of the difficult things about it was everyone expected it to be bad. And so I struggle with this as an educator. I got overcomplicated, overcomplimented, and the kids got undercomplimented, and they deserve it. Like, the student performers deserve great accolades for filming alone in their basements. But there was a lot of like, that editing was so cool. And that's that, like, I don't want people leaving whistling the set. Like, that was a little bit of an uncomfortable thing. It was 10 times as much work as a normal musical would be with like no one to work on it with. I was talking with my coworker, the director at school, and I said early on in the process, I had this thought, like, there might be something to these digital musicals. Like, this is fun. This is exciting. You're like making a kind of movie version of this. By the end of it, I was done. And I think it was even more than just the fatigue of editing the thing, but like, it's a shtick that wouldn't last when live theater can happen.
right.
Like, it is impressive in its existence now and the hurdles it was able to overcome. And I will say, apart from the mechanical side of it, there are a lot of things about pandemic era theater and theater making that I do very much enjoy. Somewhat related to my abolitionist bent. It does break down a lot of barriers of traditional theater making, from location to finances to time. It's the same kind of unifying factor that like YouTube has had for creators and podcasts have had for creators, that like, there is zero, little to no barrier to entry. And so if you have an idea and it's good, it can find an audience. And like, we've even seen the beginning of this with, like, I would, point out the Star Kid musicals as an example. Like, they don't have big Broadway producers and didn't need them. and kind of weaseled their way in. And so the
Yeah.
pandemic has allowed some of those sorts of things to happen. And I do hope those find ways to continue and let, unheard voices, non-cis het white male voices into our space a lot more.
Yeah.
But the mechanics of a digital musical, we can leave that in 2020.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Like call me a traditionalist. I like clapping with other people.
Yeah. That's the part that's missing is the feedback loop between performer and audience.
And so I think we talked about this in Beetlejuice,
Mm.
maybe vaguely for that, because I remember having this deep thought.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I have deep thoughts, but as in like it was a big thought of because I think I did. I'll put my hands up. I watched a slime tutorial on Beetlejuice.
Excellent.
And I hated that whole experience because it was like I was like eating grapes,
right,
and watching it, and then like getting up and checking my phone and all this stuff, and I wasn't really watching it. I wasn't engaged, and it's not the same.
Well, and it is a resetting of I think we talk a lot in just our off pod conversations about the meshing of form and content, right? And like whether it's a social media post or a musical, where you do it can be as important as what it is.
Totally.
And the difficulty with the quick pivot to digital theater is there wasn't a lot of new stuff for digital theater. Like I will say, and I've got a whole face to camera video on this. Our digital fall play was She Kills Monsters Virtual Realms, which every high school in America did this year because it was the quickest show to kind of do a quick Band-Aid Zoom rewrite to get it through the pandemic. And it works. Is it clunky in places? Yes, absolutely. But because it was adapted for the form, it fits a little better. You're in town. Like it, because everything becomes infinitely flexible when you put it on the screen, a lot of the mechanics of musical theater that we never even think about become real big stumbling blocks. Like the second half of every contemporary musical and like big contemporary from the past 30 years exists in musical theater limbo. And it's why, like, you see the movie version of Hairspray, like, what's the song? Without Love is like this huge montage that has to flash back and forth between 15 different places.
Yeah.
And that's a solution to this musical theater limbo problem that we never really think about before. Like everyone just kind of on stage, you can have 15 people come out in different spotlights and it doesn't really matter where you are and your location is not important. But then when you're on screen, you need to know where they are. And like, there's so many of these tiny little mechanics of stage production that we never even think about because they are so invisible, that once you translate something to screen, and especially amateur screen, now you got to make these decisions, and often you're making them after you filmed the thing because you didn't even realize you had to make it, and then it's a mess.
Yeah.
It overcomplicates things, and movies have much bigger staffs than stage plays, and that you understand why. It just takes so much more effort and time.
Exactly.
Like I edited this thing over our spring break, which was 2 weeks. And of the 14 days I had off from school, I worked 12 of them. And for each of them, I probably put in 12 to 14 hours per day. And that still wasn't the whole editing process. Like it was like, if you're doing a digital musical, especially a 2-actor, one that hasn't been rewritten, be kind to yourself and set aside a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I've done it on like the very much small scale when I've edited these songs. You know what I mean? I've done with my choir, but the thought of doing something, I you know what I mean? It's just it's all, and that's what, like, when I watched Ratatouille, that's what I was kind of thinking about. There was, I was like, oh, this is hard. You know what I mean? This is a lot of work. So
and it isn't worth it, which is one of the suckiest things about it. Like, it's worth it for educational theater. It's worth it for me to like give those kids that experience, to have done something. But like, if this was a professional show, right? it would not have been worth paying people for it. It would not have made its money back, which sucks.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have been worth it as an artistic endeavor, or for the amount of like artistic sweat equity that went into the thing. So,
but then you kept the dream alive for a lot of kids.
Right. I mean, that was absolutely worth it, and they loved it.
Great.
And like, a bunch of seniors had a slightly more normal senior year by being able to do the musical, and learned a lot about how to record things at home. Like, there were skills they learned there, just like that.
Honestly, that was my favorite part of it. Everyone had their own little recording setup. Like, these are some good transferable skills that you can use.
I have plans to put a breakdown out about it somehow. I'm trying to find the best way to do it. Just about like, here's our process for posterity. But the brief rundown is we had to record the whole musical twice because we recorded all the vocals first, and like all the vocals, not just the singing, but the whole show. So then the kids could act at home in front of green screens with something that was vaguely timed out to act out with their scene partner. And so we had to do the whole show twice, which is a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm laughing because Mick, like has just said, this bodes well for the 2 virtual musicals I'm producing this summer.
Hit me up, Mick. We'll talk. I got some things to
someone did have a good question that I wanted to jump on. So I'm the Lemon Tree. First of all, side note, the Lemon Tree is the best Chinese restaurant in Glasgow.
Oh, no way.
If you're ever coming here. Anyway, Tommy, when you're you've got it. There you go. When your game bar opens up, what song will you request for Musical Monday? And I get to answer that
too. It's fun. I mean, like, I don't live in Chicago anymore, so I don't live near Sidetrack, but do support Sidetrack, an establishment that I really, really enjoy that has their Musical Mondays and has been. They did that. I don't know if this happened with you over across the pond, Jimmy, but a lot of bars turned into restaurants during the pandemic, which is
it was a very quick contentious thing. Actually,
and it's one of those. I know plenty of people who work in food service, and I know these places need to stay alive for people to stay alive. So like, I feel it, and But Sidetrack has kept their Musical Mondays going, although like the joy of being like the Sidetrack that is now is not the Sidetrack that was Musical Mondays, where like you're screaming shoulder to shoulder, like which I don't know the next like how long it'll be for me to feel comfortable. Oh, we're reaching the end of Sun O'Clock. Sorry.
I love that.
Right, everything is. Hold on, I want to find my mic's in the way.
It's beautiful.
Anyway,
oh my god, you're like a ghost. Ghost podcast.
What would be the name of our ghost podcast? Sidebar that.
We'll pick that up another time.
I think if you've never been to Sidetrack, these responses would make sense. I've broken my microphone, Jimmy. Sorry.
That's great. 100 episodes in and we're done.
No, professional podcasters. It would be Titanic, of all things, because it has amazing callbacks. They're fantastic. And it is the Titanic performance from the Tonys, which is hilarious, which is followed by a cut that I've only ever seen at Sidetrack of a movie called The Poseidon Adventure. Are you aware of this movie?
So the only reason I know anything about The Poseidon Adventure is because of
we talked about it?
a UK TV show called Father Ted who referenced it. That's it.
It's a deep metaphor for the 7 deadly sins and a disaster movie where a ship turns over and everyone has to climb up out of the ship upside down. It's like escaping hell. Like
okay.
And all the people who escape are like gluttony, pride, and it's cool.
I love that.
Yeah, and if you have seen The Poseidon Adventure and didn't know that, you should go back and rewatch it because it's really cool once you know that. This is cut to a song that I can't remember the name of that I think is from the movie, and there are a bunch of callbacks to it that are very, very fun. And then often that is followed by a supercut of the movie. None of these are musicals, which is why this is a terrible answer. A supercut of the movie Mommy Dearest. Are you aware of this movie, Jimmy?
Mommy Dearest. Yes, I watched it quite recently.
I have never watched the movie all the way through and never want to.
It's really good. No, it's really
all
good.
I know is the supercut from Sidetrack where she yells, "No more wire hangers ever!"
Why is that in the Titanic?
No. Now it's a supercut of Mommy Dearest. This is
Oh, this is just separate.
stick with me because
I don't understand this evening.
oh, it's so good. And the supercut of Mommy Dearest will play for like 3 minutes, and there's all these weird callbacks to it. And then suddenly underneath the supercut of Mommy Dearest, you hear dun 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 dun. I was
been
cheated by
cheated
you because it's
We
Mama.
did that at the same time. That
Yeah.
was beautiful. There we go.
And when you hear dun 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 dun, everyone yells, "If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. No more effing ABBA ever."
Tommy,
Yes.
we've done an episode on this. I disagree. I'd walk out. Imagine we just sat there and musical buddies just be like,
Oh, people do that, which is also.
"Oh, do they?"
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a catty gay bar. People have so many opinions.
Oh, God, yeah. Speaking of gatekeeping,
Right. Exactly.
Jesus. My song would be "Show Yourself" from Frozen 2.
I've not seen Frozen 2. Does that go on my shame list? Apparently, yes. It wasn't the lying and the flirting that canceled the podcast, but it was me not seeing Frozen 2.
You're on thin ice, boy. Did you get it? Nice.
Oh, because of Frozen.
Frozen. Ha 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 ha. It's so good. Anyway, that's what I'm saying on that. Quiz?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
Let's do it.
This is gonna be a train wreck.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a fun train wreck.
Yeah. So basically, the reason if you've done these before, normally we have multiple choice.
Yes.
This quiz that we've created, if it was multiple choice, it would just be really obvious.
Yes.
Because what we're going to be getting you to do now, there's been 100 episodes, and we've drunk a lot of stuff over those 100 episodes. So it's going to be how well do you know your drinks, and how well do you know our episodes, basically. So what you're going to hear is a small clip from the beginning of.
Let me get the Kahoot up first so people can start.
Okay, great.
So this
is.
Oh
yeah, get logged in. That's it.
If you haven't been to high school in the past couple of years, you might not have used a Kahoot, but if you head to kahoot.it and type in this number, it will let you log in. As I tell my students, please keep your username appropriate, otherwise I will fail you.
You naughty boys. Oftentimes it's becoming a live stream tradition. People will put in actor names, and
which is always very fun.
Diva names. We love that.
I'm excited for.
There's P. Great.
All right, let's play. That's it. One player.
That works. Anyway, so you are going to hear a short clip from the start of a myriad of episodes, and what you have to do is work out from whatever either of us are drinking what musical we are talking about that day. Now, Tommy, the Kahoot expert, will tell you how answering works, because I've no idea.
So this is really fun. I'm using a new question type on Kahoot that I don't actually understand. So we're going to go on this adventure together. But it is really called a word cloud, and I think it is a free response. And my understanding is, Leave Carney's here.
I laugh very hard at that. Just that, awkward. Sorry, Reeve. I like him as a person. Okay.
So I think on the word cloud, I think it's free response, and the word should get bigger the more people answer them. And whatever, I think the top 3 words get points. This is my understanding. We put this together in a fantastic scramble 40 seconds before we went live. So it could be a total mess. But I think it's going to be great. We're already off to a great start.
I think it'll be really good.
Oh, you're back. You froze for me for a second.
Did I leave? I'm sorry.
No, I'm sure it was my fault, and I got so nervous. The question I'm really curious about is, if I freeze, will the Kahoot go away?
I don't think so. All of the other slides have gone really well.
I'm so excited. The hair. Does that happen to you?
I hate when that happens.
It's so bad. These are the parts people don't get to see because we edit the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad we edit the podcast. I often wonder this, by the way. See all these podcasts that are just live takes.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
They're magicians, obviously.
right? Like we talk so much shit. Do you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't.
We're
it
still live
wouldn't
right now.
be-
Careful what you say.
Oh gosh. Oops. We'll start flirting again. I hope
All
that
right.
doesn't become a thing.
I mean, God, I don't even want to say anything out loud
Yeah, I know.
because this is how the internet works.
Yeah. Especially with us.
Yep.
Oh, that's something I meant to talk about earlier.
Mhm.
When we were doing the Facebook message thing. So we talked about this is a great moment. Last live stream,
Mhm.
we brought up that we did an episode 0.
Oh yes.
Right. So I was originally gonna try and make a quiz out of that. There was nothing quizzy about it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick it on the Patreon,
Mhm.
just for both tiers.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can list it there. It is
Yeah.
very silly.
It's
We don't
terrible.
talk about it. Well, it's not. It's
I'm sorry.
it would stand up. It would stand up as just a normal
It is
podcast.
difficult to listen to because of audio quality.
Even then, it's
You-
not that bad. All that is for some reason
Mhm.
you're multi-tracked.
Well, that's because I
Right.
like the sound of my own voice.
Yeah. And that's it. But it's very listenable. And it would stand up. See if we just had a podcast of us just talking.
Yeah, it would be a good.
Solid episode. Solid episode.
It's like a good last call.
So that's going to go up
Excellent.
on that probably directly after this.
All right. Let me
I
get.
think we're ready. Frank Lesser's here. We can begin.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to hit start. It's going to count down, and then with any luck, you should hear a pre-recorded voice. If friends out in internet land, you don't hear this pre-recorded, please start shouting in the YouTube chat, and then we'll fix it and go back.
Yes, please.
All right, buckle your seatbelts. Away we go. 100 episode drinks quiz. 3, 2, 1. Question 1. What show is this? What are we drinking, or what show?
What show?
Okay, what show? What are you drinking today, Jimmy?
Well, I am drinking a large bottle of ketchup, and it's just too sweet.
That sounds disgusting. What show? What show could that be? We'll give you some time to type because there's a little
large
digital delay.
bottle of
That sounds
ketchup.
disgusting.
Do you know what? You don't know what this is, do you?
I know exactly what it is. Also, I'm playing the file so I can see it, but I would.
Oh, sorry.
Do you keep ketchup?
What?
Like in your fridge right now, is there a bottle of ketchup?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I don't know.
I'm a human being.
We have lots of cultural differences.
So wait, what? But so you just asked the question: do you keep ketchup?
Like in your fridge? Is that not how?
Oh, I see. No, because but it's a contentious point of whether you
everyone answered
refrigerate or not.
Oh, these are the clouds coming out. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, you've still got a bit of a minute, everyone. Yeah, it's a contentious point of like, do you keep ketchup in the fridge, or do you keep ketchup in a cupboard?
Oh, I think American ketchup has to be refrigerated. I think it's one of those like eggs things.
I think exact same thing. I think all ketchup should be refrigerated because otherwise it's so runny.
Also, I don't, and not that I particularly want cold ketchup, but I kind of want my ketchup to be cold rather than warm.
Well, my favorite part of ketchup is the hot cold play. Right? Like you get like, oh, here's a piping hot chip or fry, and you dip it in the ketchup. You're like, oh, what a wonderful play of hot and cold in my mouth right now. So there you go. Anyway, 3 seconds left.
All right, let's see. Isn't this an intriguing thing? I've never used the word cloud before.
So is this going to be?
Oh, look at this! This is so cool.
So what's interesting? People are putting
waitress. It was Meet Me in St. Louis. It was actually
Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, but here's the thing: if you guess the wrong answer, you're going to get a bunch of points in this.
If you guess the wrong answer,
because I think, and so this is why this is.
Oh, so like waitress is winning.
I think waitress is winning, even though that was Meet Me in St. Louis.
But this is but there's no winners here. It's just a fun game.
It's fun.
We're just playing. Well done, though, for the people getting Meet Me in St. Louis.
I'll hit next.
Very good work.
All right. Oh, here, hold on. Oh, I didn't expect get so quick. Okay, listen up. What show is this? What are you drinking today?
Well, Tommy, I was feeling healthy, so I got a bunch of radishes. I blended them together with some yogurt and made a delicious radish smoothie.
That sounds
Mm.
obscenely disgusting. This is a fun like expansion of like the prisoner's dilemma, like social experiment, because
Uh-huh.
you want to guess the right answer, but you also want to guess the most popular wrong answer.
So, fun anecdote that we could talk about for 80 seconds. My brother did a Taskmaster.
Ooh, big
Um,
ready.
Yeah, and so one of his tiebreakers was well, not that exact thing, but something very, very similar.
Yeah.
Where basically he would say, name a Spice Girl,
Okay.
right? And you had to have a discrete answer,
Interesting.
right? And if you matched with someone else, you were out.
Got it.
So it is the prisoner's dilemma because you don't want to go so popular to the obvious one.
Right.
Because obvious, but also you don't want to think I'm going to go to the most unobvious one.
Yes.
Sporty, obviously,
Yeah.
or maybe scary.
I might say scary. Once in wait, it was that I don't want to interrupt you. Sorry.
That was the game.
Once
It's
on
a really fun game, by the way. We should
That
play it in
sounds
the next live stream.
like a ton of fun. I am terrible with names in the best of worlds, and once was headed to a delightful restaurant in Chicago called Cheesy's after a night of many other places, and in line for the bathroom, there was an argument over who could go in first between two other guys, and I stepped in place and said, "Okay, whoever can name the most Spice Girls goes in first." But the problem was I didn't know any Spice Girls. It was great. What do we get?
That is exactly something you would do.
Oh,
Like I see you doing that.
wait, we have to answer this question. This
Christ!
was from the Fantastics.
Into the Woods.
Yeah, what a food one.
Radishes, lettuce, fiddle
Yep.
ferns. Yeah.
Yep.
It was indeed the Fantastics.
think
We will
so.
accept either Fantastics, the Fantastics, or Fanastics.
I like Radishes the musical was an answer, and Gentlemen Prefer Bio, which is
I think that's Gentlemen Prefer Blow, which is a different thing altogether.
everything. I'm gonna hit next before that.
I'm intrigued by the person who put Merrily.
All right, listen up. Here comes the next one.
Yes.
What are you drinking today, Jimmy?
I am drinking some seawater. There you go.
Also, I think I don't think it is awarding points. So this is just it's score.
We're just having fun.
Score along at home. I don't know how
right?
Oh,
we're just having fun.
I might have. It's like an overcast day, so sun o'clock keeps coming and going.
Oh my god, a gamble.
Look at how
someone
exposed I am.
Nicole has asked Jimmy, do you like Richard Osman's House of Games? And they do a game exactly like that. That makes a lot of sense because my brother has also pinched a different game from Richard Osman's House of Games, and now I know that he is a sham, and I will mock him deeply for that. Thank you, Nicole. I don't like it as much as I like Taskmaster. Is my answer. Have you seen Richard Osman's House of Games?
I've not seen Richard Osman's House of Games. I do know who Richard Osman is.
Yes, series 2, Taskmaster.
But I don't know if we've talked Taskmaster on pod. Taskmaster, it's great.
Maybe last call, but I don't think on pod.
It is a fantastic British game show up there with Only Connect and QI on one of my favorite things.
Oh, I mean, you've just listed the 3 best British exports. That isn't necessarily true.
It is fascinating to me, and I think we've kind of stumbled into this.
Yeah.
As much as we've talked early on about how you're a bit of a Yankophile.
Yeah.
And I am coming to the realization how much I'm I don't even know the word.
Britophile?
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it, but yeah. Yeah, well, you love a panel show.
I love me a good panel show. I think it's because I was raised on Whose Line, and it's like a version of Whose Line Is It Anyway.
Oh my god, I had a huge Whose Line binge the other day.
You just go down a rabbit hole. All right. Answers are going to be revealed.
Oh my god.
Seawater. What was it?
Someone said Anglophile. That's correct.
Yes.
Island?
Pirates of
the Pirates of Penzance.
Correct. Well done. Excellent.
Very nice work.
Although one Island and Titanic are good answers as well.
Absolutely. The Pirate Queen we've not done yet, but I'm excited to do Pirate Queen at some
Yeah,
point.
that'd be a fun one. That's one I missed when it happened, but could have seen.
Fiddler. That's all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? Here comes the next
Yeah.
one. Listen up. What are you drinking today, Jimmy?
Today I am drinking fresh seawater.
That sounds delicious. Is this a thing you do often?
Only when I listen to this musical. I don't know. That's not a very good one, but I can't think of anything.
I
So
think
you'll
that's
have to,
that's
go with that.
fantastic. Is this the only one we've done twice?
No.
So
No.
don't adjust your sets, friends. This is a different show.
I'll give you a clue. It's not the Pirates of Penzance.
I didn't see it up there.
It was.
Okay.
That might be too much of a clue.
There were like 12
doesn't,
musicals up there.
it doesn't matter.
It's all for fun. It's all for fun.
We're just having fun.
Meanwhile, can I answer a comment question? What mics are good
Yeah.
for YouTube podcasting? Also considering a high school with little money? Great question. Anything you can get your hands on. And I mean this. Just start the content. Forget about the technology.
Get a pair like your iPhone headphones.
Yeah,
are
whatever.
Actually pretty decent.
Whatever you have works.
Totally.
And focus on your content first. That's
Exactly,
advice I give to anyone in media.
100%, because like everyone will have listened to podcasts where the audio isn't very good. You still listen to the full episode.
Yeah. Find what you got and run with it. You can. There's all sorts of services now that you do it straight to your phone. So whatever you got, run with it.
Exactly, and it's like phones nowadays are very
really good, and you can do some easy post-production stuff that just makes it sound just fine.
Absolutely. That is the biggest.
Yeah. Oh, there's a big answer. A big answer. What do we think it is?
That's interesting. Do you think people have put ones on the silent?
Ooh, perhaps.
Because that was the second biggest one.
Yeah,
The last one.
Do you find yourself?
Or Titanic? Maybe people put Titanic.
Yeah, but it's too long for
Titanic.
Titanic.
It's really big.
What could it be?
Island.
No,
man.
This was Songs for a New World, which I do see. I see Songs for a New World in yellow up on the upper left.
I've got songs from a New World in green down the bottom. Yeah. Once in the sound, I think we did like mango juice.
Oh, that would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Motoring on. We're on question 5.
Oh God!
What show was this from? Speaking of Jimmy, what are you drinking today?
Cremola foam, literally. No, but wouldn't that be good if I was?
That would.
No. Oh crap! I haven't thought of anything. Today I am drinking. Maybe you say what you're drinking. Do you have one?
I do have one.
Okay, you say what you're drinking, and then something will come to me.
I'm actually drinking a tangerine cream ale from Station 26 Brewing, which is inside a firehouse that is yet to be burnt down or exploded.
Well done. I am drinking a 1902 Chardonnay.
Well done.
It is not good.
You made it. That was a stupid answer.
Yes. But mine actually wasn't that bad. Well, this one's a bit easier.
I mean, maybe.
Come on. Yeah.
Look,
people are like, oh, someone's talking about cremola foam. Do you guys have cremola foam? I know we've already talked about it in this episode, but I thought you said you didn't know what it was.
And at this moment, my first reaction was, I've never talked about that with you before, which means I know what it was.
We had a full conversation about it at the start of this episode.
Excellent. I love it.
But Bradders is saying cremola foam.
What is cremola foam? Remind me.
It's like, so obviously you've got like Kool-Aid, which is like a powdered drink.
Mm-hmm.
Similar thing, but it foams up.
Okay.
Like, if you have like an ice cream float.
Okay, like that kind of like, yeah.
Yeah. I think people have got this. That looks about the right size. Anyway, they get that thick foam. It's like that, and it tastes of orange or raspberry, and it's probably very bad for you. But...
Say that second fruit again.
Raspberry?
Ah, fun. Raspberry.
No, it's rasp.
But then you can do Carol Channing and go, raspberries.
Yeah, it's Carol Channing that we let her away with it.
I wish there was a musical named the Shruggy Emoji. Right.
Yay! Oh, that's nice.
All right, I'm gonna motor through. What show are we talking about here? What are you drinking today?
I am not enjoying fine Chardonnay.
Good, clever, because it's in all of them.
I still don't know what you mean by
I don't know
it's
what
in
I
all of them.
meant either.
Yeah, it in the context of everything else, it doesn't make any sense. So
It's in all of them. What was the wine you just named in the last one? Was that also a Chardonnay? In Ragtime?
Oh, I think I did say Chardonnay.
You did. Maybe that's
1902 vintage Chardonnay is I think what I said. Well, maybe that is.
What did I mean? It's in all of them.
It's in all of them.
I feel like
don't
Nicolas
know.
Cage looking at the back of the Declaration of Independence.
Well, they will in future, and they'll realize that yes, every single episode from 0 to 100 is one big code.
Can you imagine? I mean, we're such
I would love
idiots.
us.
Like,
No,
I would love that, and would have never been able to pull that off.
No. No, but that would be because that's my kind of thing. I'm reading a book at the moment that's kind of like that. It's called S, the letter S.
Okay.
And it's conceived by J.J. Abrams of all people. And it's basically it's like a sort of meta book. There's a book. There was a library book that is being passed around by two students, and they're writing to each other in the margin, and that's kind of like where the other story. There's like a satellite story that's going on, but it's full of codes and full of like puzzles and stuff like that. It's all right. Like the actual story isn't hugely substantial, but the idea is really fun. So.
Wait, hold on. Why did you say Chardonnay for this musical?
Because that is the. Are you questioning me?
I do. They talk about
a lyric
in this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll once it's been revealed, I will quote. Oh no, Grand Hotel. Grand Hotel.
I'm surprised you forgot American Psycho, which was
American Psycho. That's a fine Chardonnay. You're not enjoying. Chanel Gaultier. No, I think that might be in Sri Lanka. Actually, I can't remember. It's late.
Oh no, that's from
late, and I've had 2 beers. Anyway, it is the line.
All right, ready? Listen up. What show?
Hey T, I noticed you're drinking there. What's that you got in your gullet?
It's gummy bear infused vodka.
Oh my god. Was it a white one?
Yes.
Good. What I'm drinking, ein Radler.
Gesundheit.
Ein Radler.
Gesundheit.
German beer. I think like topped with lemonade. I think.
Oh, like a Radler. Would you call that a Radler in not German?
Yeah, but in German you call it a Radler.
How dare you bring German into this?
Well, it might be quite difficult not to.
That's one of those really annoying moments where I like to show off my German accent.
I was going to say that's one of those really annoying moments where we let the intro take so long.
I know. It's really so. Oh no, we've done it. Meet Me in St. Louis. So Meet Me in St. Louis was the first episode where we brought in our open.
Our like new scripted open?
Yeah. And it's funny because like the 3 episodes surrounding that, we like there's no chat. Because I think that's why we did it.
Right.
And I think we've found a nice happy medium where we're not just like, okay, great, what a funny joke. No, this is the episode. You know what I mean? We get to revel in each other's comedy now, which is nice.
That's very sweet and generous of you to call it comedy, I think.
Yeah, well, we laugh, don't we? Because you've got to laugh.
We do laugh.
That's in all of them, I think.
Yeah, what?
Can we get that on a t-shirt? Because nobody knows what it means.
I want to say that's in all of them, I think.
I'd never be surprised if we saw Denise Richards again. You won't know that. That's a deep.
No, I don't know that.
Yeah, sorry. But someone out there is laughing at that.
Excellent. Comedy.
Yeah. Comedy.
It looks the right size. Green's looking the right size.
Depends if they're going full title or not.
I do like German Willy Wonka.
Oh,
Cabaret, a good guess. It is Hedwig.
Well, the gummy bears in Cab are my favorite part.
I am now realizing, and I apologize for this, there is probably a character limit on this writing thing that we have not considered, which is why Hedwig
Yes.
and the Angry showed up.
Hedwig and the Angry. Oh my god, someone's put the German name for the Threat in the Opera. They win. They win.
I'm moving on, otherwise we're going to be here all night.
Yes, that's true.
What show was this from? Hey, Jimmy.
I didn't prepare for this, so welcome to the cuff. I am drinking. Let me just have a sip. Glug, glug, glug. Oh, it's giving me food poisoning.
Oh, how depressing.
I know. Did you make this for me?
No, it must have been the guards. We did a lot more. Well, I want to call
long form improv
work, but yeah, like
storytelling. Like
I wouldn't be that generous to call it storytelling.
no, nor would I, Thomas. Nor would I. Are you Thomas? Have we talked about this?
I mean, officially, I'm Thomas.
Officially, I'm James.
Yeah.
At one point, should we ever become Thomas and James?
Well, then we'd have to start our Thomas the Tank Engine podcast.
Were you a Thomas fan?
Oh, hugely. My name is Thomas.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
I preferred Percy.
Fair.
Because he was like edgy, a little bit dark-sided.
I was talking about, I mean, we talked about.
Oh my god, you are so British, aren't you?
I know, right? And like I watched the Americanized version.
There's an Americanized version?
Oh, Shining Time Station. So they did the thing that, oh my God, you would find it ridiculous. They took, so for you, Thomas the Tank Engine with the controller, is that his name?
The Fat Controller, yes.
The Fat Controller. Do you know what his Americanized name is?
Big Boss McGee.
You're going to find it. You're not wrong in category. His name is Sir Topham Hatt. Which is a better name than the Fat Controller.
It is. I like that. Sir Topham Hatt. Yeah, I like that.
So, and this is my...
wait, he's a sir?
Yep, I am.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. A Knight of the Realm.
Here, hold on. We'll continue our Thomas the Tank Engine talk once we reveal that we were listening to... Oh, man, I don't think anyone got it.
This is broad.
Was that a joke? Because that's a funny joke.
Thank you.
Hey!
Hey! Yeah, that's pretty good. It is a long title, to be fair.
Yes. Confusingly, Jimmy has named this file woman.mp3, which could be either Kiss of the Spider Woman or...
Woman on the Verge?
Yes.
Well, that's women.
Fair.
I wouldn't be so stupid as to mistitle.
I'm skipping forward, or I'm playing the next one. Here we go. What show is this?
What's in the glass today?
It's naturally communion wine.
I know. I can't think of anything else. What is there really? Like mine does water.
Just water.
It's not yet been changed.
Soon, hopefully. That was fun. I'm not good at that a lot of times, but I think good comedians are good at knowing the joke when the comedian's starting to make it early enough so that they can start playing on the thing. Mm-hmm. And my brain did that in that moment. I didn't capitalize it on any way, but I understood your joke quickly.
Thank you.
I'm not good at that.
Well, we found this, though, that we have a decent rhythm that hasn't come from anywhere.
Timing. Did you not get that? That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at I'm positively glowing. Doesn't it look like I'm gonna like
stunning,
spontaneously combust?
Like take some selfies. You don't take enough selfies.
You know? I only take them like this.
I've always said that about you.
For you, Thomas the Tank Engine was just a series of shorts about tiny trains and their problems. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The Americanized PBS published version created a live action framing around this set at Shining Time Station with a tiny little conductor played by two different actors over the lifetime of the show. One of them was George Carlin, the comedian, and one of them was Ringo Starr.
I know why. Do you know why it's Ringo Starr?
No.
Ringo Starr narrated Thomas the Tank Engine.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Than I would have thought.
Yeah. We love it. Good old Ringo. So that's so I'll need to check this out. Is it the same?
I mean, and then there's other bits that happen in the middle of it. And hold on, we'll answer, but then I'll tell you my deep Tom's
Okay.
trivia.
There's no way people have got this right.
I know it looks way too long. This is like the putt-putt era of this.
I know what they've done. Dun, 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 dun. I love this. This is fun.
This is fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
The Blues have it.
You fell into a trap. It was God's spell. Let
It
me
was
play the
God's
next
spell.
one, and then I'll tell you my Thomas the Tank Engine fan experience. What show is this from?
I'm drinking Pinot Noir. I thought you would get that.
No.
I thought you would get that.
No, that's good. That's
No.
clever. I like that more than
Fine.
mine. Yeah.
Yours was too revelatory.
Fair. I
Sorry.
was too good at what I did.
Yeah. Mine is ambiguous at best.
Now I can't remember whether it's called Shining Time Station or Shining Heim Station. I think Shining Time makes more sense.
What the hell's Heim?
I don't know. It's live action, so there's characters and actors and things. Yeah. And then tiny little conductor would appear and then would begin to narrate the Thomas section of the thing.
Okay.
There was also a music box with puppets. I don't remember all of it. One of the characters, his name was Schemer, and nominative determinism. That added a fun extra spicy syllable in the middle of that.
I love that. Yeah, it was good.
And he always had a new scheme. And like he was the like goofy
Do we
level.
have a speech impediment?
Yeah, no. But there was a series of boutique toy chains in at least the Midwest called Zany Brainy. And as a child, I went to a Zany Brainy and met Schemer. And not like the actor who plays him, but like him in character.
Oh my god, amazing.
And he had a like coin dispenser belt, you know those things, like with stacks of quarters. I guess I say you know those things. I've never seen one outside of this character, so pretend that's not real.
I think I do know what you like. Conductors have them to
Yeah.
give you money. Like,
And,
yeah.
and then maybe he was supposed to be a conductor for the station. I don't know. But some kid ran up to him with a quarter and said, "You dropped this," because he always had quarters in the show, and it was an honest thing. It's very great.
Aw.
Let's see if people got this. There's one standout, it appears.
Like there is. IDK chess. We've not done chess yet. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Close.
City of Angels.
Yay! Oh, that's good.
Fantastic guess. That's
I'm
awesome.
glad that.
I
Oh,
do-
this includes emojis. That's fun.
I do see that. Hello. I'm going away. You can't read it now.
I saw it. It said if you see this.
Reaching the home stretch. What show is this from?
What's on your lips today?
Today I've got some aged mead that
I guess
Yes!
mead was the only. Mead was the only.
It's the only thing. Are there any other kinds?
That's it. That's all you're getting. So I had a similar in character fan experience.
Or about
Um,
Tank Engine?
No, not Thomas Tank Engine.
I was so ready for you to tell me you met a train.
I just went up to a train. I was like, "Hello." No, I met Orville.
Redenbacher?
Yeah, no, Orville the duck.
I don't know who that is.
I don't think you would. So he had a little song. I'll sing it. I've not sung in a while. It was a big green. It was called. It was a duck, but it looked a bit more like a big chicken.
As you do.
Green. Flightless. Wore a nappy, a diaper, if you will. And he sung this song, and it went, "I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't." And his puppeteer would go, "You can." "I can't." And it would be something like that. That's Orville.
I think Sharon's more correct. Orville from Mrs. Santa Claus. Have I made you watch Mrs. Santa Claus? We should do that one Christmas.
I've seen Mrs. Santa
I
Claus.
really
Not a
like
Luddite.
Santa Claus. One year I have to force someone to watch it, and it's just a great experience.
I'm surprised not more people don't know Orville the duck.
Sorry, yes, I did blow right past that. Oh yeah. Orville.
He's great. You should look him up. He looks really cute. I also had a toy. I really liked him. I saw him in the Paisley Arts Centre. Everyone.
All right, what do you think? I see
It's big.
main answer, but a lot of runner-up answers. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sure I've muted the Kahoot.
That Tim Rice one. Bundle. Fucking hell, sorry, excuse my language. Yay! Come back with us to the Middle Ages.
Oh man,
And hear a story we've
I have not, and this might end the podcast. We listened to that since we listened to it for the
I
podcast.
don't care. I listen to it all the time. I love it.
All right, what show are we talking about in this one? What are you drinking today, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, that's the question. I couldn't even remember. Today
Mhm.
I'm drinking some. It's a mixed drink.
Yeah. Ooh.
Some may call it a cocktail.
Ooh. One may.
That's it.
That was stupid. I liked it.
Yours again was well. Actually, I was going to say if people don't get it, we won't know. The next thing I say really gave it away, so I didn't want to pander. We've got intelligent listeners.
That's true. You pander all the time.
Only two people have answered this one.
Here, I'll play it again. Here it comes.
Okay, that's good.
What are you drinking today, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, that's the question. I couldn't even remember. Today
Mhm.
I'm drinking some. It's a mixed drink.
Yeah. Ooh.
Some may call it a cocktail.
Ooh. One may.
Focus on the first part. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think,
gonna
and
say.
I don't want to be too revelatory, as you said, but
I don't know if that's right, but go for it. Yeah,
I do think this is a difficult one because it was a very non-traditional episode.
very non-traditional. The cocktail, if it did exist, it would contain something meaty.
What? Oh, got it. Yep. Nope. Yep. That's very funny. I like that.
At 10 seconds, I'm going to give Arrested Development reference. It's so watery, but with a smack of ham to it. It's hot ham water.
I like that, but I also hope in your real life, you always say in 10 seconds, I'm going to make an Arrested Development reference. Oh, I don't know if any. Oh, I see it. The Hamilton mixtape.
Somebody got it.
Congratulations, whoever that is.
Signed off in the chat if that was you.
That's you. Congrats.
Well
That's
done.
a tough one. Faux show.
Very much a tough one.
All right. Rolling right along. 3 left. What show are we talking about here?
Hey Tommy, what you drinking today?
It's a glass of water I can see my reflection in.
Nice. I thought you were going to say something with like a bendy straw.
A bendy straw. That's that. I like that. Okay. Congrats to Maple in the comments who got
well
a
done using Maple.
Hamilton mixtape.
That is one I've never gone back and listened to. I've listened to a lot of them a couple of times, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever listened to them.
That one's weird because that's the one I'll hear in Starbucks or the supermarket.
Oh no, I've listened to the album. I've not listened to
the podcast. Got it.
Yeah.
I have not gone back to listen to the album.
Oh, I listened to the album quite a lot.
Really?
Yes.
I think I've had some I think I had early Hamilton saturation, which if you have, you should ask your doctor about.
Yeah, I've got early Hamilton. I love that. That's very good. Oh, someone forgot the.
Uh-oh.
Wow. Also, people are lamenting that we've not done Pippin. Gutted. Imagine the thing is, the more you keep saying it, the less we'll do it. Just say that's not true.
Literally not true.
I'm desperate to do Pippin.
Me too. I love Pippin.
So do I. Should we do it just now? No.
Here we go.
Can you imagine? That's what we did.
God, this would be a 4-hour recording. This would be a 7-hour recording. You have to go to bed.
What we're doing? We're doing all right time wise, actually.
Yeah, that's true. What do we think?
3 beers deep.
No one has gotten enough answers for it to pop the cloud at us. They must be all over the place.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what we said, what it was.
Oh, you don't remember what it is?
I forgot what the second clip was.
It was a real. Mulan.
Ah! Wait,
How did
why is that so big?
This was a strange loop, by the way, which I see in green there.
I thought people would get that because it was only like a couple
Mulan.
weeks ago.
When will my reflection? Oh, got it. Okay.
But did more than one person put Mulan question mark?
I hope
Is that why it's bigger than the others?
that's fun.
That's really good. I thought everyone would get that because it was the most recent.
All right.
Alas.
2 left. Last chance to climb up the leaderboards, maybe. What show are we talking about here?
Hey, Tommy, what are you drinking today?
Blue milk.
Delicious. You really throw that away.
How
I have a story about blue milk. Do you want to hear it?
How do you have a story about blue milk? Of course I want to hear it. I'm so curious. What was your story about blue milk?
So my story about blue milk, it's not a good story, and it wasn't good on the episode either. Basically, I as a weird child,
As we all were.
there was like this thing, it was like a roller, but it was you get like ring pops,
Yeah.
right? It was like that, but it was a paint roller. And
Okay.
you would sprinkle out like this colored sugar
Mm-hmm.
and then roll it and then lick it, like, that kind of thing.
Fascinating.
All the fun. And then so I took the pouring stuff.
Okay.
And I
You
poured
put
it
it
in
in milk? Ew.
and then just didn't tell my mum and dad. Just did it, and then they saw it and they were like, "Oh God, this milk's off," and I didn't say a word.
Oh,
Didn't say
not in like a
single word.
glass of milk you had, but like in the milk.
No, I poured it into the milk. That so what that is, right? This is a deep chorus thing cut, but I forgot his name now. The weird
other
one.
people's houses
And it
and
goes
move
in like
furniture?
and move furniture around.
Mhm.
That
Yeah, that's
kind of my
sort of
thing. Like that's kind of my thing. Like
we were both that kid. Like typecast,
Yeah.
that's who we would end up in a chorus line.
Yeah, totally. Like that's just like you're thinking back on that. I don't know what the motivation was.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of stories like that actually, which is a little bit unsettling. But I'm aware of it, so I don't think it will have an impact.
American Psycho. The big one changed color. What you doing, Kahoot? Oh, did it again.
Whoa! The Paul Bunyan musical.
Star Wars the musical, love it. The Lightning Thief.
Yay! Why Paul Bunyan?
That's a good one. That's a good question. I do not know.
Okay, great.
All right, you ready?
Let us know. Mm-hmm.
The
last one.
The last one. Your last chance to climb up the ranks. What show are we talking about?
Speaking of, what's on the menu today?
Oh, I got a right little glass of a dime vodka because it's the Great Depression. And that's all.
You keep stealing my ideas. Mine was just going to be water from a puddle because it's the Great Depression. Because that's all you drank.
We were a little insensitive.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the Great Depression. Let's have a laugh.
And well, I bet you we didn't unpack any of the problems with that part of the show that this question.
No, but I bet you we did like a 30-minute monologue about the Great Depression. I actually can't remember if we did.
We did.
Another one.
We did.
It's another one I haven't listened to.
Yeah,
I think I've listened to it once, but not a lot. Who knows?
Who knows? Only you.
Who knows?
But apparently not. So nobody.
Yeah, exactly. I can't actually remember anything about this episode. Yeah. I don't know what we talked about. Oh, I do remember stuff about this episode. This was a big moment in the Jim and Tomic canon. Once we find out what it is, I'm gonna discuss it with you.
I'm so excited and so curious because this is
angry.
one of those ones. I think we're also giving away slowly more and more clues about it, but this was one of those ones where it was a musical I knew nothing about beforehand, did a bunch of intensive research out for it, and then have never revisited again.
Right, fair. I've seen this a few times actually.
Fascinating.
This one, yeah.
Oh, we did talk about that. We talked about that.
Do you know what do you know what I'm getting at?
No, maybe. This is fun. I don't think this is entertaining at all for anyone else, but
I can't tell whether to put this into the releases episode or not. Maybe I'll do highlights from the conversation. I might interject with a hi, then we played a quiz. Here are some highlights, and I'll just talk about Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's fair. Yep.
That could be about the right size.
Yeah. Let's see. 46.
Oh,
Congrats, friends.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
what was revolutionary in the canon? And then I'll hit next, and we'll see if there are scores or anything.
This is where we had like one of our first really big debates. Because you hate dance breaks.
I do hate dance breaks.
Yes. And I well, you said like point blank you hate dance breaks.
Which I probably would say with more nuance these days.
Exactly. Because I realized earlier when I was talking about Hades Town, I dissed the dance break. But that's because it doesn't do anything.
Yes.
Whereas like 42nd Street does have spectacle, and that's a big part
And
of it.
it's not so invested. All right. I have no idea if this will post scores or rankings or anything, but I'm gonna hit this next
I'm
button.
excited.
We'll see what
who's
the
won?
Kahoot machine does. Thanks.
Thank you for participating. I love that. I love that.
Oh, I'm gonna hit. This might divulge too much stuff, so I might close this quickly. But let's see what View Report says. Oh, it already warns me.
Okay, I think let's not.
Yep.
Yes. Oh, what would that give away? Like IP
I don't know.
address?
Hold on. My big screen's behind me, and I've lost this window. But let me click on it, and I'll
Yeah,
just
you have a little look.
Let us see. View Report k.edu. Accept these cookies. Yes, I will.
Sharon has just quoted, a minute ago we were singing, now we're just dancing. And apparently that's something you said. I'm like, Tommy, this is
Oh no,
musical theatre,
that's a deep thing. Yes, I've said that about Hello Dolly as well. This report is not interesting.
This is interesting. Someone, Jesse Pierce, sorry to call you out, Jesse, has said, I've never listened to any apps. These dudes just showed up on my recommended.
Hi, Jesse. We have a podcast, which would be a good thing to pitch right now. It's called Jim Tomics Musical Theater Happy Hour. We do deep dives on musical theater pieces. If this has been at all interesting to you, you'd like our podcast. It's a little less intoxicated and a little more interesting.
Yes, a lot more interesting, I think. I would hope. After 100 episodes?
There are fewer Kahoots.
Yes, that's true. There is a quiz, though.
We've done a couple quizzes.
Still up there. Anyway, welcome, Jesse. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the fold.
Thanks.
Was
that interesting, the report thing?
It was not, and I moved your window. I will describe this to you visually. So I have a second monitor that lives behind my computer screen because I live in a tiny apartment. And so on my screen arrangement, I drag it up, but sometimes I drag things up and they just disappear. And that just happened to you a second ago.
Okay.
And I panicked.
I'm still here. Never fear. I'm still here. That was my
7 o'clock makes me look crazier and crazier with my
Michael Seaton said, yeah, die drei großen Oper.
Congrats, Michael. That is a great answer.
He won. He won the game. So well done. Well done, Michael.
I think at this point we've all won, Jimmy.
After 100 episodes, Tommy, I think you're right.
I'm amazed we've made it this far. I'm excited what we have next. This has been fantastic.
I think it's interesting to go meta. But we talk a lot about how we're doing and what we think about everything in relation to the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think we said recently that we feel like for the first time in the past few months that for the first time we're doing it.
Well, I mean, yes. And if I can get a little sentimental on Maine, like doing this podcast has been a wonderful reprieve from a terrible year. I think I spend more time talking to you about intense things than many other humans on this planet.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like in a big old way. And I think that's really good and really healthy for us. Yeah. Like just from a selfish perspective, like I think it is great that we have this outlet, and from a non-selfish perspective, it's baffling and delightful that people come along with us for this ride. Like, and not only that, are just very generous with their words and their ears.
Yes.
It's deeply deeply humbling
Yes.
and delightful, and not something. I mean, 5 years ago, like when I was sending you deaths,
What should our podcast be about? Ghosts.
right? Like, did you know what I mean? Did we ever expect to be doing a bloody live stream with a great bunch of people?
Yeah.
I'll tell you the answer is no.
No, not at all. Hey, speaking of questions and answers,
Yes. Hey,
did you like
what?
that?
Yeah, exactly. What are we doing next week?
Well, and this is
And
not.
also not next week. It will, this you're seeing this in real time, guys. So
This has been, I mean, perhaps the biggest secret of the podcast is how long it took us to unincorporate the language weekly and next week into
God,
our
I know.
never weekly podcast.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I just said next week.
Yeah, we've never done a weekly podcast.
No, we did for like probably 3 weeks, and then we stopped for 9 months.
I have a quiz question. It's about our
Oh,
100th
what's the prize?
101th episode.
101th. I would say 101th.
101th.
No, that's not right. You should
That's
have
it.
say
No,
one.
That's what
What'd
it
you
is.
say?
101th episode. This is fun.
101st. 101st. Oh
For
my
those-
god.
I knew what it was the whole time, but I liked
Did you?
you leading you on that journey. Yes.
Bastard. I hate that. Anyway.
Oh man. All right. You ready? Quiz question.
Also,
Coming-
don't answer it in the chat.
yes, don't answer it in the chat. That'd be no fun.
Just spoil it for people.
But don't, I guess we've never. Well, I don't ever want to gatekeep how people answer these questions. 'Cause
No, answer it if you want. I like it. Doesn't. It also,
Whatever.
it's in the title,
it's in the.
as in like when we release the episode.
Oh yes, right. You know what it. Anyway,
Right.
In the movie version of this musical, one of the leading actresses smashed her ankle through a plate glass window, but would continue filming and danced her way into one of the most iconic romantic dance sequences of all time. Oh, I was doing so good, and then I stumbled right in the middle there. Did you hear that?
I heard it was disgusting. It was
That last
awful.
bit was not a part of the quiz question. Or was it?
Oh, if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can. No, I'm joking.
You all know our
meta.
jimandtomic.com. Email us. Look forward to new merch and what's on tap coming down the way.
I'm so excited to see what we come up with the merch. Also, I think like on the merch point, like we'll be having a meeting with Gretchen and working with her to get ideas because she's very good. But obviously it'll be you guys who hopefully will want to wear it. So let us know what you would want to have on your bodies.
Yeah.
So well, you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
that's
but
true,
it's
that's
way
fair.
phrasing. No, wait,
That's
hold on.
great. They know me now.
In 10 seconds, I'm going to quote Arrested Development.
Okay, I'm going to continue speaking and then you go. But yes, so tweet us, email it, whatever, all the contact stuff. What you would want if you've got like this would be a really good idea. We can work to make that.
Look what the
imagery.
homosexuals have done to me.
Oh, rest
That
in
was
peace.
Timing. Hey,
Beautiful. Hey.
we adore all of you.
We really, truly do. Yeah, this is like my favorite thing.
Absolutely.
So there.
Cheers, right?
That's what we do. And I've got an actual drink. So that's what I'm ready to do. Hey, Tommy.
What do you want? No, wait, hold on. What do you want? Do you want a delicate balance? Do you want racing demon? Do you want funny thing? Do you want bring the noise? What's
No,
your...
I think I need Racing Demon.
Okay, here comes.
And I'll just give you
Let's
Corona.
spill beer all over my computer.
Oh yeah. Hey, that's all for this time. Cheers.
Cheers, Jimmy. Clink.
Clay.